What? The what?
That's the first thing you hear though. Like I hit the live button and all of a sudden, that, oh boy, the Jack Daniels sweated out his shirt. No, that was a good one. But I see the red light. What you say, Brian?
My kids.
Of course he did.
Well, brothers, we are here. We are live. I see the red button, so you know what that means. It's time for start the show. I'm trying to get myself together. Sorry. There's so much for us to talk about tonight. Fresh off the heels of Survivor Series 2023 War Games. CM Punk has returned. Randy Orton has returned. R-truth has returned. Once again, I'm left with more questions than answers. But before I start the intro, I just want to go ahead and say, Brandon, I'm sorry, brother. I had to do it. I apologize.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!
What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
There it is. And welcome to the Wrestle Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Realm. It's weird calling it X. Like and subscribe and engage in a conversation with us. You can also download all of our audio content on Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Realm. It's time for introduction time. Standing at 6'6". Oh, no, this is not basketball. I am your host. The realness himself, as real as it gets, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host. Brother Hugh has the third H to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D. He
That's
is your
me.
host. Oh, that's fire. He is your host, the Belt King, the Brandon, the guy. And he is your host, last but not least, the man, the myth, the real legend of the wrestling realm, Brian H. Waters in the building tonight. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show. Welcome to the wrestling realm, brothers. You guys feeling pretty good?
Dag it. Great.
It's all good. I'm popping the balls.
You know how good I feel?
How good do you feel, brother? It's gonna be a long night for you, Brandon.
I am fine. You notice I have no emotion.
You know what? Speaking of no emotion, if you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, you can email us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com with the subject line saying advertise, and we will reach out to you for further details. So if you have a business, you have a sponsorship that you would like to promote on our show, be partners with us, join it with us, advertise with the Wrestling Realm. Contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. With that being said, for all your Wrestling Realm apparel and merchandise, head over to wrestlingrealm.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, more. We slash prices. We've added product, and soon to come, we will be doing some live unboxings on the show just to give you guys a better view of what we have to offer. So if you want to be a proud wrestling fan or you just want to support the brand and be just as cool as us, head over to wrestlingrealm.com for all your apparel and merchandise. Now, what are you going to do with all that Wrestling Realm apparel and merchandise? I'm glad you asked. You can head over to SeatGeek and get $20 off of your next holiday tour. That's right. WWE is making a holiday tour of their rounds. You can use our promo code Wrestling Realm. That's right. All caps, no spaces. Save yourself $20 on any ticket purchase, $50 or more. Now, if you don't want to take the WWE upcoming holiday tour, if you're just trying to purchase tickets to concerts, live events, sport events, and much more, once again, head over to SeatGeek.com. Use promo code Wrestling Realm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Save yourself $20 off. Like I said, ticket prices are up. But you know what? We're in a holiday giving mood, just like WWE's holiday tour coming up. So if you're going to make it and you're going to invite somebody else, do yourself a favor. If you're going to buy more than one ticket, use promo code Wrestling Realm. Get that $20 off. Enjoy your WWE show or your football event or your concert, whatever it may be. But use promo code Wrestling Realm. And guess what? If you've used it before, just sign up with a new email via Brian H. Waters. He always tells us that. But yes, promo code Wrestling Realm, SeatGeek.com. Save yourself $20 off any purchase, any one-time purchase, $50 or more. Now, this part is what we usually talk about, championship culture. Now, what we would usually do is we usually say Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on youtube.com/Wrestling Realm playlist championship culture. And we dive into whatever is hot in the world of championship culture. Headed up by Brandon, the guy got a Belt King, and Brother Hugh has the third. But guess what? We have wrapped up 25 episodes of season 1, and apparently season 2 is on its way. Brother Brandon, can you please tell the people what can we expect from season 2 of championship culture?
So it was 25 episodes in season 1. There's 25 episodes coming for season 2. 20 of them are already in the process of being either made or put together, with the majority of them being almost done. But I'm going to say, I want to bring your attention to this box right here. This
that a
is
belt? Because I know you like making belts.
Is that a belt?
Customized belt.
And so this is one of 5 mystery things that will be part of season 2. But I just found out today it's actually going to be one of 7 that's going to be part of season 2. Yes. One of 7. And out of those 2 that's coming, that's a whole episode within itself. But if you stay tuned, because I think next week it might be a contest coming. If you can guess what's in one of these boxes, you might be able to get something. It might be what's in the box. It might be something that's not in the box.
What you get? Dwayne Phil Allen is not eligible, but Brian H. Waters might be. Oh boy, how fitting! Wow.
So yeah, Brian H. Waters, you probably will be eligible. We gotta because because here's why.
Okay.
Dwayne Robert Allen is actually 5 of the episodes are coming. Huh?
Ty Cornback. It's been a while.
Oh, was it? Oh, there he is. Hey, sir, you were missed. We missed you. Where you been? And now all we need is Dylan. Then we'll have the whole crew back.
Dylan told us to go to Perth, Australia earlier today. I was like, I was excited. I was like, oh, Perth, how far is that from Dylan? He gonna get a chance to get the experience it live, the WWE pay-per-view, possibly see CM Punk. He said, I ain't going to Perth. We don't go over there.
He was like, that's
sound like he's talking about West Baltimore.
Right. Hey, I'm from West Baltimore.
East side.
Walk to the building.
I'm sorry.
Zone 18, baby.
That's
yes, sir.
Every day.
Yes,
that's why every day.
Yes, people don't realize. Question. Brian is from the hood, but I don't think he knew it for the first 18 years of his life.
No, he was from it.
So technically, I'm from the 13, but I ain't go outside in the 13, but the 18, a little bit more dangerous around there. But I was well bred and protected.
Shout out to Mama and Papa Waters for keeping Brian H. from knowing he grew up in the hood for his whole life. I swear to goodness. I pulled up and I was like, bro, you live in the trenches, right? He's like, no, this is nice. I said, no,
it's not. It was
like the only one in the city. Anyway, sorry. I just put out this is Brandon. You brought up. I swear to goodness, Brian is. I don't think Brian is ever knew. I said, do you live in the trenches, right? He's like, nah, this is home. I said, well,
this is home.
Nobody goes down the street, bro.
Then he goes like, man, no wonder you can't lose weight. This is why I was trying to lose weight before, but I had to move out of here. He said, you near all the chicken box spots.
All the spots,
bro.
And walking distance.
Every other block.
He go to the left, he go to the right, he got another one. It just depends on how he want his ketchup to taste. But we gonna leave that alone.
That's some real Baltimore stuff right there. You just got real Baltimore for a second. That's so Baltimore. But go ahead, brother. Sorry.
Yo, hold up. This is exactly how he must know our story. Hear gunshots down.
Bro, that's how they.
Yep.
Where's that going from?
The fireworks. 4th of July happens, and then we still hear fireworks. October. You like, why do y'all still have fireworks? Yeah, it's too cold right now. But
Coach Chaz pure ignorance. They out there making waves. He says, "Oh, good. We love our hood. Dang, all right."
That's why I say I'm from the West Side. So, back on track. So, I'm gonna even let you on this little secret. Not even the super producer Hugh, Hash the Third, knows what's in all 7 of these boxes.
Is that why you didn't answer his phone calls earlier?
Yeah, I can't talk to him right now because I was one of the boxes pertains to him. So you know me, I get the itch and I can't say nothing.
I know what it is.
So I was like,
I know what it is.
But look, I'm gonna say this: the last time I answered, he said, "Don't show me nothing. Don't tell me nothing." And then I gave him you know how you have. Hold on, I'm gonna hijack the show for a second. So you know how so you know how you get a belt, right? And you might see the main plate, right? And he'll be like, "Oh wow, that's how the main plate gonna look." I showed him a picture of this part. I was like, "Look here, check this out. Look at the belt cover."
He's done that before. That's not.
He probably was like, "What am I supposed to do with that?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." Okay. It was like just that little piece, and he was like, I could tell he was mad because he was like, "Oh my god, yeah." If y'all never hear when he say that, it's like,
he's like, okay,
oh my god,
he's over it, but he knows he's up his sleeve. He's like, oh shoot, now I gotta work that much harder to figure out what's going on.
Yep, but all of us is it's coming sooner than what you think, and it's the reason we're holding off on the date because it's going to be sitting around some things happening, but you'll be excited when it happens. My only fear is that with what we call the HBK. So if it's Triple H does the Vince's sauce, the HBK sauce. If he keep being saucy, he keep being saucy on Tuesday, he might kick us out of that spot, but we don't know yet. We try to see if he's gonna simmer it down a little bit, but it'll be coming soon. Get ready to be excited. So
it sounds to me like season 2 of Championship is going to start off with a bang. I'm excited. I can't wait for it, man. The anticipation is growing. For those who have not seen it, please catch up on season 1. YouTube.com/Wrestling Realm playlist Championship Culture. Trust me, if you're interested in professional wrestling championships, which is almost a core value of being a wrestling fan, and from the perspective of a collector on so many different levels, trust me, it's so informative, it's fun, it's informational, and as he says often, everybody
loves hijacking it.
And if I'm on the show live and he has a live show, I go out of my way to try to disrupt the show. Trouble. It's because I want to jump out into the screen so bad, and I want to be a part of the conversation. But that's how much fun I have on Championship Culture, and you can have that much fun as well. So season 2, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this: who wore better, Big Eagle versus is that Stephanie Hardy? She said Bell Lights.
Yes, it is.
So and it's crazy because that's what I'm segueing into. Brian's was Big Eagle versus Win Eagle edition. You had Hughes who wore better, the Big Eagle, right? And then Dwayne's was yours was what was yours? The other belt, right?
Yes. Yep. We talk about the others.
Other belts. So all I'm gonna say is it's mighty strange that each of those fit your personality. There might be a hit of what's happening in season 2. I'm waiting for Dwayne to come up with his 5 episodes.
I have some in mind. We need to have that discussion at some point. I was just about to say something.
Can you tell the people, are yours going to be live or are they going to be? I feel like yours need to be live.
They probably should be live. We'll see. I think like whatever you. But like I said, you and Brother He will make the final call on it. But my shows are. Yeah, I just, me, I don't take nothing seriously, but I take stuff very seriously. Like I'm a professional, but I like to have fun. And I have some really intriguing topics I would like to discuss with the boys of Championship Culture. But yeah,
I feel
5
like
episodes.
One of them gonna be about TNA. I feel like one's gonna be about TNA, but it's okay.
Right.
It has to. But like I said, I'll I'm trying. This is what you guys do every week. You try not to spoil it. Like I want to talk about it. You're trying to bait me in. I'm not going for it. I'm gonna pull a Brother Brandon.
Look.
No hands on Brother Hugh.
Well, here's your hint.
No, he was about
every belt has a story.
Wait.
Every belt has a story.
You got me.
No, but you know what? I don't know why. I just felt the need to run this.
Extremely quiet on purpose. Have you noticed? Like I let you do your whole intro. I didn't say a word. I just sat there.
You've been quiet for about a whole year.
I just stared at the camera with this look on my face of determination and grit, and that's exactly how I feel right now. That's exactly how I feel right now. It's like I'm purposely not saying anything, and I'm just like,
I know.
I'm gazing into the camera's eye, so I can just like, okay. But we will discuss that.
But we gotta hold on. We gotta, you look at that clip. You look mighty good, there, brother. Like you nice and fit. You covering the muscles because you selling merch. TRDA.com, right? Or TRDA brand. I just got it bookmarked.
TRDAbrand.com. Take respect to Fiversity, but
it's bookmarked, so I just go there.
If anybody,
and it comes up automatically.
If anybody is taking respect into Fiversity, it's the Jack Daddy himself and his brand new Jack Daddy Brian H. Waters t-shirt that he has on. You talking about somebody looking Jack Daddy? You got it, man. Let the people see it. No, this is the first time I see it on. Look at that.
No, it's not. I wore this before.
You wore before on the show?
He wore one at a time.
I think he did.
Okay. Yeah. Look at that. That's the Jack Daddy Brian H. Waters. Brian H. has had an amazing fitness journey. And you talking about somebody looking Jack.
That clip, I look horrible. I don't even looking at old pictures of myself. Goodness gracious, depression. That's why
I'm in the process of trying to get us with all new branded stuff with all four of us, so we can start trying to update everything. I know we're really behind, but we'll get there. But like I said, shout out to the Jack.
Yeah, my son can take actual better photos now because he almost tall. So like he gets more eye level.
What did you say, Brian? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear the last part. He's what? He's what?
I think he said. He's almost 6'12", like you.
Wow. Oof. Yeah, be like y'all. 6'12". You be in grocery stores and people be asking you to grab stuff at the top shelf all the time.
Or are you a basketball player? Can I get your autograph?
I've never gotten an autograph asked, but I don't know.
You haven't for real? Okay.
No.
What about photo? Because we in the photo era.
I only overseas. Like there
you go.
Like in places where they don't see a lot of tall people, they assume that you're somebody important. That's the place.
So you do realize the next time I see you, I'm going to run up to you like, oh man, can I get a selfie?
Now, if you want to play these games, brother Brandon, we can play these games because
now, you want to do this. Serious.
First of all, every time I
go there, I'm out do you.
Every time I've caught brother Brandon in public off guard, I try to do something so embarrassing, and he runs away. I've seen him every time in public, and I'm like, oh, watch this, and he looks at me, he's like, oh no, because he saw the look on my face. I said, oh yeah, it's about to go down. And he tries to like run away, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? I'm a civilian.
It's not as bad as Mama Hugh, Brandon, and I'm like,
right, yeah.
I like froze, like she yelled like she was my mom. I was like, yes,
yep.
And I was like, you get frozen in fear. I just stopped everything.
Mama voice. You like, huh? Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Then I looked over and all I see is this Gump laughing at me with his eyebrows. His whole eyebrows up in the air. I said, put your eyebrows down when you talk to me. So,
oh boy,
hold on. Trouble. I just got this tweet. So shout out to Justin. He sent this tweet from Britt Baker. MJF live promo time 7 minutes. Christian Cage 10 minutes. All of 2023 Britt Baker live promo time 0 minutes. I was like, the children are at it again.
Oh boy,
Punk came home.
Well, let's wrap this section up. Season 2, championship culture. Please catch up on
season
that was a long 1. Listen, trust me, I feel this is going to be one of those nights. And people are already here. Season 2, championship culture. YouTube.com/Wrestling Realm playlist. Championship culture season 1. Please go and watch. It's one of our highest rated shows that we have on our channel right now. It's really really fun. But brothers, it's time to. Man, listen, I learn something every time. It's fun, very intricate, And in season 2, I'm telling you, I can't wait. I'm gonna tell you what I can't wait for. I cannot wait for this bell to ring. Brian H., let's get this show started. Ring the bell, and there it is, gentlemen. We watched a lot this week, but this is soon to be a sponsored segment. But obviously, we watched Survivor Series. There's a lot of things that kind of also happened this week. Now, usually we don't talk about the stuff that comes on as far as the daily product, but listen to me. NXT, Raw, there's some things I would like to address. So we will start today's show with our very famous segment known as What Did You Watch? Sponsored by nobody just yet, but it is available at WrestleRealm.com. WrestlingRealm@gmail.com. If you'd like to advertise and sponsor the What Did You Watch segment, you can do so now. But here we go. For those who are listening, once you hear that sound, thank you, Brian. That's a wonderful graphic you've done. What did you watch, gentlemen? Outside of the obvious, What you all watch this week? I didn't even want to say a name. I just because everybody's got this.
I was okay. So I'm gonna say, did anybody check out NXT?
Yeah, listen to me. Listen, brother.
Did anybody check out that main event of NXT?
Usually, I do this for championship culture, but I've got notes.
You got. So let me. I'm gonna say this about, and I'm gonna let you get to your notes. I'm gonna just say this.
Go ahead.
Seeing the lineup of the Fatal 4-Way, did you already know Wesley was going to win?
No way in the world.
Because it made you feel like everybody had a chance, right?
I wasn't surprised, but I was like, I don't know if he's ready to. Like, it was a huge win for him, first of all, to be in the ring with those heavy hitters. First of all, I was surprised they showed up in the first place. Not like they shouldn't have, but that was a big deal. And for Wesley,
but they were all former North American champions.
North American champions, yep.
That's why I said that was a nice take on that. That was a good spin from all brands. And I was like, if it's one way to bring all the brands together, and I'm like, yeah, he's the NXT guy. But to put him over, it gave me that Survivor Series was it 19 when it was NXT Survivor Series 2?
Yep.
It gave me that vibe that it was like 19. All of that 19. And I'm telling you that Wesley keeps proving he belongs in a conversation.
No, it's for so many years people knew him as a tag team guy, but like with recent events that kind of took place, and Wesley been doing his thing as a singles competitor. But it also shows you the importance of NXT and that North American Championship. You have main roster guys coming back to like, no, I need another crack at this title. It's not beneath them. And excellent showing. But yeah, I'm right. Go ahead and continue, brother. Like I said, I've got notes.
That right there. That was the highlight for me because it was all different styles, all different. It flowed. The match was put together very well. It was Wesley, like when he did that little sideways kick thing that he does, I was like, it was just perfect. It was like of course, everybody can't always have perfect timing, but I felt like for what they had, it was great. And of course, Alien Off is always going to be good, but I'm going to let you go with your notes.
Brian, let's leave that there real quick. Real quick. I want to acknowledge Carlos.
Pro wrestlers, Forrest Gump. You named your favorite moment. Carlos was there. I promise you.
Carlos is it Herrera? Yeah, he
said Carlos Herrera.
Okay, yeah, he says NXT is the best wrestling show on TV right now. Good wrestling mixed with stories. I agree with that sentiment. It's very rare that you can see a show that's only about an hour or two long that has the perfect blend of one, what you're there to do, develop, two, provides good in-ring product, and three, also draws and brings you in with captivating storylines. It's one of the things that, no disrespect, Brandon, that TNA could never figure out for me. But Shawn Michaels, man, he just
because they always went one way or the other. It was never a good mixture.
Exactly.
It was and that always one or the other.
And that's exactly that's why I can go back and watch TNA right now and enjoy it, is because I'm not watching a TNA show. I'm watching just matches. I'm watching moments. I'm watching things like that. But I think Carlos has an excellent point, though. NXT is the best wrestling show on TV. It's just it's not too much. It's not too little. It's just a great mix. But what did everybody else get into this week? Brian H, Brother Hugh.
So we sticking with NXT, or we?
No, listen, brother. Wherever your heart takes you. Like, what did you watch this week?
So, Survivor Series binge early Saturday morning. I had to do my tradition, Survivor Series 95, because that was one of my famous 5 tapes, and just going back and watching like the ending, like the 1, 2, 3 kid and beating Marty Jannetty, and also seeing like the Undertaker. And for the first time, as many times I've watched that match, I realized, I was like, yo, Taker was working with his friends. Like literally the BSK was his teammates. Him, Savio Vega, Henry Godwin, and Fatu. I was like, genius. And it's hard to believe, like back then when I was 95, I was 9. I didn't know like they was all buddy. If you'd have told me they would have been friends in real life, I was like, yeah, right. Undertaker ain't got nothing in common with those guys.
Right,
but now, yeah, but you see all this stuff, and you're like, oh man, this is great. But I'll say this: the thing that stood out about NXT, y'all know how much I love women's wrestling. And Carlos just said it, underrated that. Oh, that was the women's. Then Kiana James, who I'm high on, and Kalani Jordan, who I'm getting high on. I'm like, okay.
That first breakout match, she went out there and showed she just keeps getting. I don't want to say better because that's like an insult, but she's more entertaining each time.
We're watching her grow in front of our eyes. But then Roxanne Perez, because I have been waiting. Y'all know I've been saying this. I like Roxanne. You know, go back in the archives, Wrestling for the Culture. She's on here. This is around the time when she had won championship down in Laredo, Texas. Or she was honored by Laredo, Texas. I've been waiting for her to turn the corner and go to another level. Now I've been seeing this with this feud because I felt like, okay, they kind of hot shot the title to her because they had to get it off Mandy Rose. And I was like, oh, okay, it was cool. May have been too soon. But now she lost it. She getting some dirt on her hands. And to see her come out there, outsmart Keon James by ringing the bell. Because, like, that's not a disqualification. You can ring the bell and confuse somebody and kind of wish more people would do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see her do that, and then the parking lot. And Matt, shout out to Matt Reichel. The parking lot.
It was like parking lot got more action than the AEW's women's division. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. That parking lot, they after that whole Braun Breaker and fight in the park. I said, anytime they have a parking lot, just show that whole episode of this parking lot. I'm waiting for that on the WWE Network to have a whole look what happens in the NXT parking lot.
Bro, you know it's gonna be some type of investigation type content storyline because
and bro, like you just seeing that, and I like how they got into it in the locker room and you hear Booker T, because the thing I love about Booker T's commentary is he doesn't shy away from his students. Like it's a realism factor there for him. And that's what I love about it. You know, it kind of makes me like, man, imagine if he would have been there like when Ember Moon or even when the Usos was coming up, because you know he brought them in thing 1 and thing 2, you know, and it's a reason that respect he has from the business for Rikishi to send his sons down there. You know, he had the other Fatu, what you call his son down there. So but yeah, seeing the women cook, and you know, I know we're gonna get into Trick and Mello, but yeah, that's
it's you think.
Oh, wait a minute, I got a question for you, Brian. Do you think that's why Booker T is on commentary, because of his students and they know he can make that connection?
I was about to ask you the same question. It's a good question, Brother Brandon.
Because I was wondering, because I was like, why did he get assigned NXT? But now it makes sense because, you know, it wasn't just a spur of the moment. It was actually a plan to it. You know, and Triple H,
familiar voice. You know, yeah, it's a familiar voice. You know, shout out to Vic Joseph. You know, it's like that dynamic. I enjoy it a lot, and you always want to have that from who was it? I can't think. Oh, WCW. It was Mike Tenay. And remember when they would bring over the Japanese stars? He would bring like a history book. Yeah.
I'm glad you ain't thought of somebody. This is and he used to give the history of everything they had going on in Japan. And they were like, that's why we call him the Professor Mike Tenay.
Did y'all see that comment?
He does a better job than Mike Adamle, I'll tell you that much.
Bro. Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. It was,
Lord,
but I think you guys are right when it comes to
Booker T. Bro. We only 16 minutes. You about to be cramped.
Listen, we had in heavy, locked and loaded. I think Booker T is very familiar with, like I said, this young talent, and he has been in development for a long time now. You know what I mean? So not only is he honing his skills, but he kind of understands like the purpose of why he's there, why it makes sense in the first place. But I agree, brother Hugh. What'd you get into? So are we sticking with NXT right now?
Yeah, we're gonna stick with NXT.
Okay, let's just stick with NXT right now. That's I think we're all on the same page of what we kind of watched this week, because I was like, okay, you know what? I know we got to talk about CM Punk, the Survivor Series, Randy Orton. Yeah,
what is Brian laughing at?
You.
This brother Brett. This is why you can't take Brother Brandon and Brian. This is anywhere.
Look, I thought this was out of my system. I found it finally. The WWC 4.
Where did you find it at?
Royal Farms.
Royal Farms.
Okay.
The place he's always at.
On
go ahead, say it. Where?
I was actually getting
on Pulaski Highway. Down the street from him. He turned to the left. He go to the left or the right?
Nah, because I had been looking for that. I was like, yo, where's the WWE one? I couldn't find it. And finally, I was like,
did it sing to you when you saw it? Oh.
But I think this one it's actually a safer drink because it don't give you that feeling that the regular was.
Brian gonna be up till tomorrow.
I would say, are you going to be able to get any sleep tonight? I know we burn the midnight oil every once in a while.
You should have heard how happy he was when he told
I can only imagine if I know Brian H.
Sorry, Hugh. What did you get into, Hugh?
Brother Hugh, NXT, brother.
Now we sticking with NXT, babe.
All right, let's stay here.
NXT was
NXT to me. Here's what's throwing me off. Not throwing me off, but I was pleasantly surprised. And this is a shout out to Shawn Michaels and all those who work in NXT, brother Hugh. The fact that they followed up Survivor Series with their regularly scheduled programming and still like stood out on their own. Like this, like I had to like add this part of the show this time because we were supposed to jump right into Survivor Series and spend all the time about that, right? But it's like, okay, get into what do we watch? I was like, yo, this is a really good show. And I think I turned it on by accident. Like I turned the TV on. I've been ripping and running. I didn't realize it was Tuesday. I was like, oh shoot, NXT's on. And watched the whole thing. And I was like, bro, I got through the whole show. That's one thing I haven't been able to do. Every once in a while with AEW, it's not bad. You know what I mean? But it's hard to get to. Like, I enjoy the show from start to finish. And shout out to Jerry Lawler, who was kind of the guest host for the night. It was always good to see Jerry Lawler.
Oh no. I just want to comment.
It's there's a few things I saw in NXT. First of all, you guys see Brooke Jensen in this match against Braun,
right?
Against Braun Breaker. Bro, why does he look like Magnum TA? Come on, man.
That's
the first thing. It stood out.
I said, like an extra from Miami Vice.
That's exactly how Magnum TA used to dress coming to the ring.
Magnum TA.
One question before we get into this whole thing, because we got to get into Lexis King. There's been some footage put out there. Trick Williams has qualified for his match, and we saw footage, and they said we revealed footage of Lexis, of what happened to Trick Williams, and they showed the footage of Trick Williams backstage, like celebrating. He's had his opportunity. Then he goes in the stairwell, and you saw Lexis King, and he was kind of lurking behind. You saw it, and then he immediately runs after. They tried to convince us that Lexis King is responsible for attacking Trick Williams, and even
he gonna help him.
And that's exactly what I was thinking, right? So you see him running towards the thing. It's like, for whatever reason, Lexis King was already lurking. It's because when he first showed up in the first place, he said something cryptic in regard to what he saw, and he's like, "Yeah, something's not kosher around here." And that's one thing his father used to do. If you guys remember, Brian Pillman used to always kind of talk with speculation tone, right? Like he's accused of people of not being who they say they were, that type thing. That's kind of what made him kind of what do they call it? Kind of unhinged. You know what I mean?
Loose cannon.
Yeah, the loose cannon. You know what I mean? So we saw something similar when Lexis King first showed up, but now we're seeing this footage of Trick Williams going into the stairwell, and of course his boy Carmelo Hayes. People are arguing that, saying no, he didn't have to do it. We owe Carmelo Hayes an apology because it wasn't him. And Carmelo Hayes is like, yeah, we should go and rough up Lexis King for what he did to you, because once again, I'm hearing sour grapes from Carmelo Hayes, brother Hugh. He's like, well, look, man, and Trick was like, nah, we don't gotta do stuff like that no more, bro. We in different spaces now. Gotta be smart. I said, yo, check this brother out. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Trick Williams. I'm having so much fun watching this guy develop. Watching developmental is kind of hard. Like even watching Brock Lesnar was kind of hard. Developmental. Or Batista developmental was kind of rough. Or Shelton Benjamin wearing a do-rag like my man from
they were
Blackout.
giving characters that they couldn't be. They were literally just, this is what you're going to do now. Go out there and sell it. And it wasn't them.
It's hard to watch it, right? But I'm watching this guy like I'm literally watching him develop. I'm saying, no, he's really good. And he tells his guy, Carmelo Hayes, hey, man, we're above that, brother. We don't have to do that anymore. And he's like, we got to keep our eyes on the prize. And Carmelo Hayes looked at him and goes, well, I don't have no prize to keep my eyes on right now. And I was like, see, there we go. And Carmelo Hayes still trying to convince, Trick Williams that he had nothing to do with the situation. So now we're meant to believe
good old cover up.
We're meant to believe that Carmelo Hayes is clear. And I think us brothers can all sit here and agree. He did it. Melo did it. We know he did it. It's because I agree with you, Brother Brad. I saw the footage and I analyzed it, right? I said, let me see this. Is there any other way we can play devil's advocate and say, maybe this went a different direction? Literally, you saw, there's no sound. So when you watch the footage, Lexis King is there, and you can tell he hears something and he rushes. And I'm like, okay, got it. All right, it was Carmelo Hayes, and the fact that Carmelo Hayes tried to pin it on Lexis King, like, yeah, let's go beat him up now, and Trick's like, nah, man, he gonna get his when he get his. What do you guys think? Are you guys speculating the same thing I'm speculating? Because I think it's not Carmelo Hayes did it. He did it, like Stephanie Hardy said from the Hardy Wrestling Show. Carmelo did it. He is guilty. What do you guys think about this storyline so far?
I love it. He absolutely did it. Like you said, watching the video. Once Lexis King got to the door, you can see him kind of start sprinting. So I was like, all right, hold on. Why would he sprint? After the trick like that, So he had to hear something, had to see something, and he's going to check it out. But and then Carmelo came down later on and tried to take him out. So it's a cover-up game. That's all it is now. So yeah, 100% he did it.
NXT is rocking and rolling, and I think first of all, by the time we get to Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams, man, I don't know when and where, but the build-up is going to be amazing. And
standard
delivery. I think it's
that the one in Mania?
I was about to say, which one is that mess? I was thinking that. I was like, you think they can drag this out to Mania? I don't know how far we can go, but
it's Shawn Michaels.
I was about to say,
him and Triple H put on a 2-year program.
True.
Him and Jericho had an extended program. Because you could possibly introduce somebody else in this story. Because again, Melo could have maybe not pulled the trigger. We could have watched it happen. We talked about this before. Which one was worse? Doing it or watching? You know what I mean? So,
or he called somebody to do it. He got somebody to do it for him.
Yeah,
that could be it too.
Or maybe Lexis King did do it, and he was paid by Carmelo Hayes to do it.
Maybe
he did it.
No way in the world, because he got in the ring with both of them, and he acted like he didn't know what was going on.
I mean, but see, that's another thing. That's the reason why it could be it.
True. Man, this is. I'll wait and see.
The main event WrestleMania weekend and then leave.
Yeah,
but see, I think they could have that could be the start of a trilogy. The main roster is stacked.
True.
It's so many different ways.
It's no rush.
But at the NXT PLEs are just as important as the regular PLEs.
And
like they deliver. I don't want to say something. Yeah, they deliver, and how they present it, it looks just like a WWE PLE now. It's back to the black and gold days. How it's not just in the performance center. It's back to the days that we were excited about the takeovers. It feels like a takeover again, even though they're giving them different names, because I didn't understand the whole takeover thing. Every pay-per-view was take over this city, take over that city.
I want to go to Deadline next weekend.
They got this
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
They've got to figure it out. Just go back to your old stomping grounds the whole time. hey, right. Take my goddaughter too, so she can visit her hometown. Her home country of Connecticut. It's a country because it's so different compared to where she lives now.
I was like, one day I'm gonna take you. I said, you still know what it looked like where you was born.
I told Brad, I said, how do you feel to have your daughter be born again? She's gonna be devastated.
They gave me
you better not tell her either.
They gave
you did say that.
Steak. Yeah, after she was born. I asked my friends who had like babies in Baltimore. I was like, you get food? No. I said, in Bristol, they gave us steak.
That was very kind of them, because I didn't know that. That's news to me today. Right. Well, god dang. Well, listen, if you're going to have a baby, god dang it, you might as well get a stop. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. What did I miss?
That was a real moment. This moment was brought to you by.
This moment was brought to you by the Wrestling Realm.
brand.com.
Yes, indeed. Buy her.
We selling shirts, hoodies, and hats, and everything else he got on his website. We selling everybody's merch today.
Bro,
advertise the Wrestling Realm.
That's what
WrestlingRealm@gmail.com.
We sell championship belts too.
Bro, you might as well open that box back there too.
Yes, sir.
Which box? This one?
Carlos, I'm thinking about it. I'll definitely let you know.
Yes, indeed. But I guess the people, they want to know what we think about the Pierre de la Resistance of tonight's show. The main event.
The what?
Survivor Series.
I forgot you speak different languages.
The main event. The Pierre de la Resistance. No French. The Pierre de la Resistance. Survivor Series.
Like you can watch Lupin.
A little bit. Netflix. Gentlemen, we did a show last week. We talked about our favorite Survivor Series moments. We talked about the Survivor Series preview. Now we are finally here to talk about Survivor Series 2023, a history-making Survivor Series. I'm going to read off a few stats about this year's WWE Survivor Series premium live event. It said it made history. It is the most viewed Survivor Series of all time. CM Punk's return is the most social moment in WWE history. Sponsorship revenue went up 24% versus 2022. It is the largest gate in Survivor Series history. We're going to talk about that. It's Survivor Series merchandise sales record. Unbelievable. Brian H. was in the building for such a monumental and history-making Survivor Series. Like I said, we talked about Survivor Series last week in our favorite moments. Gentlemen, did this year's Survivor Series live up to the hype? Did it add to the history and the moments of Survivor Series past that we all love and enjoy? Brother, he's not gonna make it. He's gonna crack any moment.
Oh man, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just. Did the Survivor Series live up to the hype? How was this year's Survivor Series?
It did. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, of course, you know, we weren't expecting CM Punk. Well, we were, but we weren't.
There you go. That's the perfect way to put it.
But man, it was monumental. Came back like honestly, I didn't think he was coming. Pause.
I wasn't buying it either. I'm not gonna hold you. I was like, yeah, I'm not. But here's what I knew something was up. You know me. Main event was done at 10:45. I was like, we got too much time left. Something's about to go down.
Look at the time.
I didn't even pay it any mind at first, but I was like, something's about to go down because I'm like, we're not off the air, and I've been conditioned since NXT. Like, look, if that time is on the clock, they're not going to waste any time. But yeah, it was man, such a magnet. First thing I wanted to do was check on Brother Brandon. You know, CM Punk made his favorite wrestler, but a lot happened in Survivor Series. Overall show, Brian H., what did you think about the show overall? You were there. You felt the energy in the building. You got to experience it live and in color. You like what I did there, like in living color?
Yeah.
Called the personality. See what I did there, Brother Brandon? Brandon, tell us about the atmosphere.
Oh, first of all, so you know, it's interesting. You brought up in living color and cult of personality. When they put the announcement out there Friday, y'all remember that they was going to that they remastered the song. And I was like, all right, is this a big joke? Is this another thing to have us think Punk is coming back and now In Living Colors on it? They magically, out of all these years, are going to remaster the song. I think they remastered like 2013 or 14 before. But the energy in the building, ecstatic. You heard a lot of CM Punk chants, and as they started, this is before the show, people started booing. Yeah, CM Punk. Then you hear people booing the CM Punk chants. And it was like a civil war. But
Brian, I'm proud of you. Use the comic book reference without even knowing it.
I don't think he even knows.
You know, it's just like when I worked in the science field, you stick around and stuff long enough, you start to pick up on things.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
So there was that. Every match delivered. I went to concessions. I got it from my seat twice. Once during it was like after the women's match. It was like you know, and I was like, dang, I'm missing Gunther and Miz. Got there before right towards the end, but I went back and watched that match. And then one time during towards the end of Santos Escobar's match, towards the end, because I was like, all right, I need to go get some food before. But out of being blessed to go to all four this year, this is my second favorite.
Oh wow, okay, that's big praise.
Yeah, this is my second favorite. If I had to rank them, it's WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania Night 1, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and the last three it's a tight race, but to me, what put Survivor Series over was because every match to me delivered. And after the show, my first thought was like, so little insight. 3 count happens, they come get us. You know, because remember Royal Rumble, I told y'all, they told us we had to go to the press box and watch the main event from there. 3 count happens. They take us downstairs. We see the moment on our phones. We in the press room, and it wasn't too far. We're in the press room, and we're talking to people. Those who were there was like, yeah, when we was at the Royal Rumble, we saw the Sammy KO moment. Because I remember Wilkins was asking Queen PR, like, why you got your phone out? And she's like, oh, because something might happen. And then I spotted the monitor, which was sitting next to my seat. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, Punk is back. He's here. And nobody knew. Even the like WWE people came over, like, wait, what? So like being there, it was like when I walked in the room, I was like, Survivor Series is back. That was my first thought. Like, having going back and watched some of the old ones, some of them don't age as well. And then to me, like that mid 2000s, just man, you pick it out for matches, not whole shows. But to me, it felt like it reclaimed a spot on the mountain of the Big Four, not just
like SummerSlam did. It wasn't just checking off the box.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, I had that feeling with SummerSlam in the last 2 years since the Triple H. I feel like it's
really.
I feel like it was because and I don't mean to cut you off because I felt like during the Vince McMahon era, he was packing us with so many things, and then it was like the next day we were coming off our high. With Triple H, I feel like he packed it but continued it. Like I feel like he's given us 4 different seasons of wrestling to where it's like, all right, Survivor Series finished off this story, but it's going to carry us to Survivor Series. Survivor Series finished off this story, now it's going to carry us to Royal Rumble. So I'm going to get a feeling that I can now remember all of this and be like, oh, this was a good feeling. And one just like, oh, wait a minute, what happened at Backlash? What happened at Clash at the Castle? What happened? I feel like, oh yeah, because that led to this. It led to that. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from with this because I feel like those matches led to this, but also became previews for what we're about to happen.
There you go.
That's what he said. So many stories. I'll give a Wrestling Realm exclusive or a preview coming up. Like I was excited yesterday. I sat down the last 2 days. I actually got this done in record time. Wrote an article for the ringer.com.
Oh, nice.
And shout out to senior editor Cal, because we was trying to come up with a name of it. So at first I was gonna call it 10 matches you should watch during the holidays. And so what I explained to him, my thought process was back in the day of the VHS tapes, I used to, in 2001, I put together a mixtape of like all my favorite matches from that year and rewatched it while I was like packing up gifts, making, gift wrap. So Cal was like, let's call it the Pro Wrestling Mixtape, the 2023 Pro Wrestling Mixtape. I said, well, let's call it WWE PLE Mixtape. So that's going to come out and it's going to have 10 matches from this year that I suggest people go back and rewatch. And then I got three honorable mentions. And
that'd be dope. I need suggestions.
Yeah, and just watching those matches, and it was hard to put together, but especially when I was sitting there and I was like, man, like every moment. Survivor Series was one of those shows that it does what it's supposed to do. You wasn't thinking about, oh, this should be booked this way. Why is it booked? Because the action was just so intense. The CEO Sky pretty much go fishing.
She did her spot.
That's
hilarious.
Yes, and then to see Charlotte Flair do what she did, the hug with her and Becky. Then in the men's war games, that last 15 minutes, like the whole match was good. But the moment Randy Orton, first of all, Randy getting his moment, because it's like the war, him coming out in the cage would have been cool, but that I'm coming to save you.
Attention was on her. The attention
always
was like, hey.
goes up. Exactly, and that's what was so great about that moment. But yeah, so that's where like the atmosphere was good. It make you say like 2021 Survivor Series. I heard people saying like how boring it was.
Oh wow.
It's only special to me, to be honest with you, because it's my first Survivor Series and it's like the second big of the big four.
Yeah, kind of like WrestleMania 9 to you. Yeah.
Hey, 9.
Yep.
And it was the first show I went to for work. You feel me? So it was like, all right, this was pretty cool, but it doesn't age well when I go back to rewatch it.
Oh no,
this right here, yeah. I went back and rewatched it a few times already, But yeah, the atmosphere was great, and man, Tampa, I'm excited. Let's get Hugh gas up the pacer. And I ain't driving to Florida, but yeah, Tampa's gonna be something special.
Nobody's great.
I said Hugh because back in the day he used to be Cole when we was in school. He used to call me Tommy.
Gas with the pacer.
So can I ask y'all a question before we dive into the main event of the show?
Sure, by all means.
Do you feel like
the box? You gotta tell us what's in the box first.
Do you feel that less matches on the card? Yeah, right. I know you did. Do you feel that the less matches on the card are making it more impactful, or do you see it as kind of counter programming to what AEW is doing? Because I feel like we always compare them because it's so many, and then it's so few, and I feel like, for instance, and the reason I say it's like a prequel, if you look at the women's match, the story that nobody has really seen, I haven't seen anybody talk about, was Bayley being a leader and sacrificing herself for her team throughout the entire match, which is going to.
That's a way to look at it. Because everybody else, when you look up the timeline, is saying Bayley gonna get kicked out, but nobody's talking about. See,
so that's why I say it's counter programming. You were able to tell that story versus AEW. They just going to give you the good match. You know, do you think it's counter programming, or do you think this is just Triple H getting into his groove? That's my one question. My other question was about Brian, when you mentioned about Randy Orton's moment. It took me back to the Roman Reigns moment when we were waiting to see, is he going to come in the match or he's not? Because when you think about the start of his run, you always go back to that one moment when he came out, signed the contract, went in there, and it was like, I felt Randy Orton had that, I hate to use that word, same energy, but I'm going to remember Randy Orton coming back like, oh, you thought I wasn't here? Look at me. And then coming back to help his team and the whole thing. I was just, all I kept saying was, when is JD going to get RKO'd? And lo and behold, oh, he did. Okay, that's all we needed. But
that looked better in person than it did on TV, by the way.
Because the angle
Xbox got to take that. It definitely, it always does. Xbox got to take that bump.
Yeah.
But
that's my two. Do you think it's counter programming, or do you think it's just him getting into his groove? And
well, he said something simple. A good movie has great storytelling, but an action movie with a whole bunch of CGI effects but no storytelling isn't a good movie. And that was pretty much
one.
Oh, really?
You said what?
Okay. Transformers 1. Remember, was it Transformers 1 or Transformers 2? Everybody's
all of Michael Bay's. All of Michael Bay's Transformers.
Yeah.
Wait,
they transformed for 20. They transformed for 27 minutes. So you couldn't even. What was Optimus Prime?
That's the whole point. They had a lot of action scenes.
What kind of truck was it? No, I'm not being funny. The whole thing about a transformer, you should be able to look at them and tell what they are. That they are robots in disguise. They just look like they transformed into robots. There was no essence of what they were because it was so many. It took so long to transform and move on. But was just so bad.
I just sent Brandon down a whole different rabbit hole.
Yeah,
right.
He's about to go.
See how angry you got? Yeah,
great robots. No, I'm because that's the one that was like popping during my Best Buy days, right? That everybody was coming and buying.
Everybody was. That's the one.
So those weren't good.
It's what it's way. It's the problem was Transformers.
They killed Jazz in number one. They killed the black man in number one.
Well, you thought that
wasn't
happen.
You knew that would happen, right? You know,
Transformers is such a nostalgic place for people, especially people that grew up in the 80s or just experienced Transformers on that level, right? But then when the movie came out, the story lacked depth. It didn't give you you didn't feel. It just gave. I'm telling you, it just gave you like explosions, Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, and a lot of cool visuals. But then
you blowing up the whole building, but the Mountain Dew machine is still intact. But everything else around it is blowing up.
Mountain Dew pay good money for that product placement. But yeah,
and that's the thing. Like with AEW, talk about the counter programming. Yeah, like I don't. By the time these main events come, it's like midnight, and by then it's
15 different matches. There's such thing as Brian taught me this a long time ago, and he told me this from his first WrestleMania trip.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he said realness. There's a such thing as wrestling burnout, and I was like, I never thought I'd hear that from you.
I call it wrestling fatigue.
I couldn't believe it. And he was like, I did too much. I said, no, say it ain't so. It's not possible. He said, no, brother. I reached the point.
We had it once too. Remember 6 hours of ROH standing there for shows?
Man. Oh,
we had it. We
used to do 4 shows at a time.
Right.
We were like, why are we still here?
Thing, like, people don't work together like on AEW shows that be that long. So you go see a bunch of super kicks, a bunch of Canadian destroyers, where if you pay attention to like those WWE matches, like say Survivor Series, 5 matches, 6 matches, whatever, you're not going to see the same spots. You know what I mean?
So one Spanish fly. Spanish
bingo.
fly.
Because producers work together. Over AEW, it's like people in different. It's like, and I get trying to steal the show, but it's another thing when you trying to just like completely obliterate and outdo everybody and just throw spot. Like I've been in like when before she retired, shout out to Amber Rodriguez. I've been in like before, like with her before her matches, and she was like, yo, why is this girl trying to go out here and have WrestleMania? Like, we got 7 minutes. Let's go out here and keep it simple, stupid. You know, because the fans just wanted they want to see is her do her thing with a glove, whatever. She said, this girl went through all this, that, and for what?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of veteran. I've heard a lot of veteran wrestlers, especially like a Matt Cardona says it all the time. Like, bro, this is not what the fans have come to see, especially in these moments. But to your point, Brandon, it does make sense that Triple H is. I don't think it's purposely counter programming. I think it naturally happens to be counter programming. But it just seems like Triple H just has a quality over quantity way of doing things, where it's like what you don't have in matches, you make up for in moments, in segments. Which leads me to my first takeaway. Is a shout out to for the culture, R-Truth, who has returned to WWE. He is a true treasure to the business of professional wrestling. He's been around forever, and just his presence, his comedic timing, and what he does for WWE's programming in between those moments, right? It makes a difference. And once again, you provide everything for the show. So that's with that being the first return, you know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, R-Truth's back. You know, he broke his leg a couple of years ago, some time ago, and it's like, man, Triple H, because Shawn Michaels does the same thing. There's a certain pacing to what we watch where they can control our emotions, but also they don't burn us out either. So, but yeah, those are all good observations. But we all can agree that Survivor Series this year, 23, obviously was a record-breaking show for a lot of different reasons. And of course, it's the largest attendance gate. Triple H taking a different approach as far as the sets are concerned. I don't know if they stole that from AEW's all-in pay-per-view set, but I like the idea of having the tunnel kind of screened out. You know, it's a cheaper set, but it looks cool visually. You know what I mean?
It does.
And and you provide more seating in the arena. It makes it look that much big of a deal. And apparently, like I said, they're not having a problem selling tickets. So
I don't like it.
All right.
I don't like it.
This is why we have the show. All right, come on, talk to your boys now.
I get it, but it's harder to see some of the entrances. Like every seat, you won't be able to see it. Like WrestleMania.
Oh, okay, sure.
With the exception of being behind, like Brother Hugh can even attest to Nashville. Sure, you know, when we couldn't really see them, you know, to walk. And
there's no big trons up there.
Bingo.
Okay. All right. That's a good point. I never thought about that, but that's true.
Yeah, but I used to love the you know, that's what I get it from a business standpoint. Also, somebody who used to work in utility for CBS and Fox Sports, as far as building stages. Yeah, I can understand, but man, as a child, we were spoiled because it was nothing like waiting and
early 2000s.
Yeah, and turning on Sunday Night Heat to see what the set would look like.
Yeah. They were always different. They always were unique. I think that's why we got so excited about the SmackDown Fist, because it was like it was something different. It was like, oh, you know, and it was like, and then when it was gone, you were like, well, why?
And then playing on the video games, because every year it would be from the previous year. And did you? I don't know if y'all peeped. Shout out to Chris Van Vliet. He was saying like he had Zach Gowen on the show. They said Brock Lesnar wanted to do the F5 on Zach Gowen off of the SmackDown Fist.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
They was playing in the spot, but they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Kill him.
I was just like, how to commit a murder.
Yeah,
Because there's no way you can plan to land from that, especially
Yeah.
on that height.
We've had one too many hazards. Please let it go. I'm glad they did.
Why everybody get quiet all of a sudden?
Once again, to your point, Brian H.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you how. Oh, so we good? After that, everybody froze.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if y'all heard me say,
Nope.
"Are you kidding me?"
Vince is jealous. We're not scared of you anymore, Vince. You can't harm us. You're not charged anymore. But yeah, like even on even just trying to kill that man. WWF No Mercy even has an option, to select your arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that perspective. That's actually a good spin on it. But I'll tell you another good spin. We know Randy Orton came back. We know CM Punk came back. And trust me, we're really wrapping up. This conversation is where the meat and potatoes is really going to cause some thought-provoking, as only the wrestling realm can do. And of course, we got to get to, of course, our famous segment, Good for Business, Bad for Business. And I think if it's not obvious right now what we're going to talk about for Good for Business, Bad for Business, you already know it's coming.
Sponsored
Randy
by
Orton, sponsored by It Can Be You. Contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. If you'd like to sponsor our segment, Good for Business, Bad for Business, put advertise in the subject line. Brothers, Randy Orton is back and he's jacked. He has looked overwhelmed. He looks happy. He looks like $1 million. Man, Randy Orton has motioned to the crowd that he's got 10 more years left in the tank. Wow.
Right.
What a special moment to have Randy Orton return to WWE after a back injury that people were saying, man, it was suggested could possibly end his career. Now, most people think we got on the show to talk about, this is how I feel about the fact that Randy Orton came back, blah, blah, blah. Not, listen, there's enough great shows that's going to have that conversation. We are the wrestling realm. We're here to educate and have this type of conversation. What does this mean for the WWE locker room and the product as we know it? Now that Randy Orton has returned, we're talking about a Hall of Famer. We're talking about a living legend. We're talking about a major player who looks like he is not going anywhere anytime soon. And guess what? He has some receipts that he plans to cash in. Randy Orton is back. Good brothers. What do you guys want to see Randy Orton do? What do you guys want to see Randy Orton next? Who do you want to see him to work with? What is next now that RKO is back in the freaking building? What does this mean for the locker room? What does it mean for future opponents? Randy Orton back in WWE. Come on now. Talk to your boy.
Well, first off, you have another veteran in the locker room. So veteran leadership that's there. You have
Didn't even think about that. Excellent point.
Thanks for taking my point.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime.
I'll delete it off my list. Thanks.
You also you have another leader, of course, in the ring and outside of the ring. With Punk coming, you're gonna need that type of leadership.
Ooh.
Yeah. And as far as
he's
in
not
the
a locker
ring,
room leader.
who?
Oh,
who you talking about? Punk? He can be, but I
think he will lead NXT very well.
Yeah. With his reputation, you need somebody like Randy on his side, or to kind of like mellow things out.
You're absolutely right though, because he's the only one that probably remembers. Think about it, but I don't mean to cut you off, brother, here, but I can't not speak on this point because this is actually a point. I didn't think about that, but that's actually true because he's the only one that was there back when he was there too. That kind of understands him and kind of remembers. He can be that bridge between the younger guys because Randy always worked with the younger guys. The Shield. I call them the Shield generation, for the better lack of a better term. But as well as Randy was like, look, I remember what it was like when he was around. Like I remember why he acted the way he acted. And Randy Orton also remembers about how he used to be. And he knows how important having a second and third and fourth chance is. So
right.
I don't know. That's actually a good point.
So question is though, is he a free agent or is he on Raw?
He'll be on SmackDown this week.
He's right, free agent. I think they're implying that he's a free agent because he showed up on Raw, had business with them, but he made it clear like, oh no, I'm not done with the bloodline yet.
Exactly. So that's where I was going with. That's going to be his.
They haven't said what he is.
They made the announcement. SmackDown. I'm nervous about that for a particular reason, but I'm gonna tell y'all why. But go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah, I'm nervous.
No, go ahead.
Finish
up. Go ahead.
I'm nervous for guys like Randy Orton comes back. WWE has a lot of main event players. Like I'm talking about just guys you could just stick in the main event at any point in time. And it's just like, man, what does it mean for guys like Kevin Owens, who's kind of not doing anything right now? He gets traded to SmackDown. I don't know if he's hurt or not, or what the situation is. I think he might be hurt, but a guy like Randy Orton is back on SmackDown. I mean, Kevin Owens is back on SmackDown. Hasn't done much. Rubbed nigga off the wrong way. Kevin Owens has been main eventing for the better half of almost 2.5, 3 years, along with Roman. You know what I mean? Even before Cody and everybody came back, he's been holding it down. But then you got a guy like Randy Orton back that's immediately injected into whatever conversation that he kind of wants to be injected into, right? What happens to guys like him that are trying to, still, kind of solidify their spot in that main event scene when you got a guy like Randy Orton that just comes back up and he's going to be automatically there. He's going after Roman Reigns. He's made that very clear. And then we have a few more questions we have to answer, right? What does that mean for guys like Cody Rhodes, who's also trying to find his way to SmackDown? He's politicking, he's pulling, he's doing whatever he can, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still got Seth Rollins, you still got all these guys. You got Gunther. You have so many different conversations to be had. What direction are we seeing Randy Orton going now that he has returned to WWE? Ooh. Come on, man. So y'all are stuck now. I need guidance from the brothers.
But here's my problem, because in the Triple H dust era, when we make these predictions, we make these suggestions or assumptions or whatever you want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He blows our mind and throws us a curveball that was just like, wait a minute, what? Because that War Games match, it's crazy that the men's side all has a year's worth of program that they could have on just the good guys team.
True.
You can put any of them against each other and have a year's worth of programming in any way, shape, or form. Insert, cut, and paste, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Randy on Raw or SmackDown, imagine him going to SmackDown and on the Grayson Waller effect. Imagine him.
Randy loves working with the young guys.
No, I'm saying, but think about it.
Yeah.
Look what Grayson Waller and Edge was. It Grayson Waller keeps being that person that they throw in there, and he's becoming a staple of SmackDown. You got Austin Theory that ain't doing nothing, but then you got in this world now, Randy could appear on NXT next week and look at Braun Breaker and say, "You think you're bad?" You know what I mean? Like, it's so many different possibilities that I think that we have a whole ride ahead of us. I would hope, and it's crazy because I was thinking about this when Randy came back. He really is, like I was going to say, he's the last vet of that era. And if this was literally 2 years ago, we wouldn't have all of these main event players because we would have had a break the glass, call Goldberg, break the glass, call Brock Lesnar. They would have been overshadowed in half of these PLE events with matches that it wouldn't have been able to see a Shinsuke Nakamura become a person that you keep inserting, a Kevin Owens that you insert, a Miz who is almost white strap Miz, almost kind of fell short, but you know what I mean? So he would have got relegated to Brock Lesnar's back. He's going to fight Seth for the title. Give it to Brock because we need that. We didn't have to break these glass moments because we have people that are here, ready, and able. Shucks, the Alpha Academy had 2 other members wrestle, and Chad Gable set off to the side. When you think about where do you put somebody like a Randy Orton, I'm going to just simply say required because we don't know because there's so many options, and we're going to rack our brain trying to figure it out. Like, the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber are going to be crazy because you could put them anywhere at any time, and it's going to be like, wow, that was different. And guess what? Randy might not wrestle until Royal Rumble. He could literally just interact with people on Raw or SmackDown or NXT and not even have a match. He had a match with Dominic because it was like, okay, give the people something, keep them going, let them know he's back. You know what I mean? What do we do? Do we wait a week, build up some more entertainment? How soon before we see him back on the marquee for things next to Cody, next to Rhea Ripley, next to Becky Lynch? When do we start seeing him back on the marquee? Because they didn't cut Phil Brooks into it real quick. So you got all these people that you notice Charlotte is sliding to the back, but at any time she can slide right back to the front. Bianca Belair, same thing. Yep. So it's crazy. Where do you put them? They got
many of it players at the wazoo.
Yeah, and it's so many. Like, at any time you could cut a promo, and now guess what? I'm going to fight for and it only had to be for a title, just on the PLE, on the episode of SmackDown, on Raw. I'm going to care about it because look how we cared about Drew McIntyre versus Jay. And that was literally just, oh, that's the match tonight. And it was like, oh, okay, yep, this is what I want to see. I didn't know he was going to get it this quick, but all right, give it to us. So,
yeah, man, it's I don't know, man.
It enhances that versatility. That's for sure. You got to think of somebody
Big time,
like AJ Styles ain't even come back yet. So he's another one.
Yeah, shoot,
insert him anywhere,
bro.
So.
Elimination Chamber is going to be nuts. They're going to have
still out. Look, Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus just went out.
I forgot about him. Yep.
Bobby Lashley just sticking around in the background with the Street Profits. You still got so much.
Fab. She's in the group now too. I think something like that.
You have so much talent that you can try to figure out which way to go.
Triple H is trying to load up like it's since 2001.
But it's making sense because it's keeping it. I'm pretty sure, and we'll see at the holiday tour. Mm-hmm. Like when we went to Raw that time, remember we got to see them red pants, Trick Williams, and I remember he just said something just off about him. When he put on shorts, it became a different. Something as simple as that. He had to test it at a live event. It was main event to say no, this isn't gonna work. But now look at him. Not even what was it? 6 months later, we got a different Trick Williams. There could still be these people. That's why, as much as we say we haven't seen Alba Fire and Aladon, they could be just working the live scene to get them back into a space where, okay, we're ready for them. The people are actually reacting to them. Let's make sure they're ready for this because we pulled them up. But what did we do with them? We didn't get the reaction we wanted, but we got time for it.
I think the one who benefited the most from Randy Orton's return was probably Dominic Mysterio because the next night on Raw, he got a chance to work once again. Graduate school, man. Him and it's Dominic Mysterio and who else who gets to work with all the main event players all the time? It's another person. Who is it? It's
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory, yes. Austin Theory he got a chance to work with all the big dogs at one point. But sheesh, man.
He was in the room with the Rock.
I think the problem with him is they want him to be a heel so bad, but he naturally is a face. Like his personality as
Austin Theory?
Yeah. If you look at him outside of WWE, he's a good guy. Like he's one of those people that wants to do the charity work, wants to do all that type of stuff, but he's trying to cut it on as a heel, and that's probably why it's not coming across.
I just think he's still young and he's development. Like I there's no doubt in my mind that he'll take his place, when it's time to take his place. But to me, there's no rush. Vince tried to rush it, like, oh, he's got to be it now. That's what he's used to doing. He did it with Roman, and we didn't like guys. And crazy as it is, it's not like Vince wasn't right about the guys that he wanted to push. Mm-hmm. It is that when he wanted to push him, we were just like, bro, that's not what we want right now. But
facts.
Anybody else got any comments on Randy Orton and his return to WWE? It was a lot. It's like I said, this show will go longer than it needs to be. Trying to figure out what's next for Randy Orton because you literally
injury could keep you down. So
he looks amazing. I was happy for him, man. I said, oh yeah, he's not playing any games. Usually when you start building that type of muscle, and you get that big, it's to protect the rest of your body. You know what I mean? He's kind of like he was kind of thin. He was kind of thin, slim fit, I guess. But now you can tell he's put on the extra pounders to just to protect his body and for wear and tear because he's talking about wrestling for another 10 more years. But
you know why? Because my man was home with his family and his kids. He said, "Boy, when I get out of here, I'm about to go back to work."
No, that's why he has another baby in the way because he's freaking home. Him and Matt Hardy, bro. If they off the road for too long, bro.
Randy got another.
Somebody said he got a baby on the way. She pregnant again.
The way they be looking at each other, I see why,
bro. I'm happy for it because I remember the first wife. remember on the first DVD did. He was, and then when he met the new wife, oh my gosh, I was like, oh yeah, he different. He was smitten with her, and he proved it. He just keep having babies. I think altogether, I think he should have almost what? He's got 3 boys. He's got 2 girls. So I think he might be on baby number 6. Try to catch up to Matt Hardy.
He's like 40 plus.
Yeah, Randy was what, 42, 3, 4? He's got to be. He's early 40. I think he's 42.
Yeah, but was he the one saying that his girls didn't want him to take him to school because everybody recognized him?
43. And because people forget how young Randy Orton is. But no, you're right. He
started so young.
Yeah, he started so freaking. He was 20, 22 or whatever it was. But yeah, man, he's got between, like I said, Randy Orton and Matt Hardy, man. They home too long. It's gonna be a bun in the oven since they've been laid up for too long. But Randy Orton's back. So much more to come. Man, I'm excited. It's WWE's loading up, man. AEW. Whoo. Edge joined Aces and Eights tonight. You guys see his new look on AEW. He joined Aces and Eights. Face it off. Him and Christian had a good exchange. That was fun. But it's just like, man, he's missing as he's leaving. All these big things are happening across the street, as Brian would say. But something else that happened across the street. Somebody left AEW.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Aces and Eights. Someone else who has left AEW and showed up. The unthinkable. CM Punk. CM Punk returns.
Look at it. He look happy.
For you, Brandon.
I'm not gonna lie, that shirt is kind of fire though. I ain't gonna hold you.
No,
he got better merch.
Yeah,
his merch looks better.
No, okay. We're going to debate this. I'm glad you said that, but let's get into this. CM Punk.
He's
CM
a happy Punk.
See, first of all, you see how big he is? Look how jacked he looks.
That fast though. He was just on our TVs in September. Somebody's
like, see, he looks healthier now. Like he looks like he's filled out a little bit because he said, "Look, man, I'm on WWE now. I got to get all jacked." But CM Punk did the unthinkable after all the drama and turmoil in AEW. As CM Punk has said, as Triple H has said, man, what a mighty cold day in hell. Hell's officially frozen over. CM Punk makes his long anticipated return to WWE. Gentlemen, I want to ask you, Brother Brandon, because I know this is your favorite wrestler. I was about to Phil personally because
I'm only here for
because he knows him personally. He knows him personally, so he calls him Phil Brooks. Man, how do you guys feel about CM Punk returning to WWE after a 10 to 12 year absence? Because we're going to talk about whether it's good for business or whether it's bad for business. Like I'm just not even going to just you know what I mean? It's we're going to go there, but let's just start slowly. Brandon, you can start with you because I know this is your favorite wrestler.
You sure you want me to go?
Did you guys think that CM? How do you guys feel about CM? Oh, what did you say, brother? You?
I was about to say, you sure you want him first? Too? Okay, all right.
Okay. Right. Let's not go. How do you guys feel about CM Punk returning to WWE after everything?
I'm gonna be honest. I still don't like him as a wrestler.
Okay.
Well, okay. As a talent, but I understand it. I get it.
Okay.
When you move to the WWE, you're here for entertainment purposes and you're here to make money. And that's exactly what he's going to do for the company. He already did it, basically.
Yeah, just by showing up that one time. Yes, he did. And I think, and to your point, brother, it's just easier, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to make money as a superstar than it is to be a professional wrestler, right? He shows up, like you said, brother, he shows up. I guarantee his t-shirt is probably got to be top 5 selling t-shirts already.
Sold out.
It's got to be, right?
Russell Talk reported that his t-shirt is almost sold out.
There it is. My man, Ollie Davidson crew. They you know what I mean? Like, it's just easier. That's why Kairi Sane returned. She's like, oh, it's easier on my body. Like, what? At one point, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were getting off the road 300 days to go to WCW. Like, I'm going to work 150 dates. That's it. Now people say, oh, WWE's easier. You know, we heard Drew McIntyre when he first came back. He was like, yeah, like after a while, the grind got to me. You know? But, man, CM Punk back. Did you guys think this would ever happen?
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. You laugh because he said it. He said this is going to be like his. Go ahead, Brian.
They always come home.
I was about to say they always come. There's a theme that we constantly hear. They say it all the time, but it's probably more true now than it's ever been. Never say never, which means Chris Jericho's going to come home eventually too.
I thought honestly back in 2019 when he showed up on WWE on Fox. I know that was run by Fox executives.
Sure,
but come on,
he was trying to.
It was like it's a chance because the way he was when he left in 2013, 2014, it was like okay, he was like sour grapes, didn't want to talk about wrestling, none of that. Time moves along, bygones be bygones, and let's not forget he was in negotiations with WWE. He just like what AEW had on the table better.
That's true.
You know, and then he went over there and realized he was working with children. and it took me back. If y'all remember, during the heydays of the Chris Jericho podcast, he had Adam Copeland on, and Edge, and this was after Edge had retired. And this was shortly after Punk had left, and they talked about how one time they had a match, and Punk was they had like a match on the house show, and they was Copeland and Jericho was like, we'll call it in the ring. And Punk was upset, like, come on now, we need to be out here doing this. We need to go over the match. It's like, dude, it's fine. We'll call it in the ring. Let's watch this hockey match. And then said, fast forward, they saw Punk now understand it. And it's kind of like this cycle in wrestling. Sure. You come in, you so hyped. It's go back to the Best Buy days. You start off, they sell you the dreams, and you want to make everything work. Then you realize the dreams and like not all it's cracked up to be, and you're just like, all right, we'll just do whatever. It's kind of like what we talked about Jericho and Kevin Owens. And Dwayne did it best. You was like, Jericho probably was like, all right, whatever, man. Vince don't care. He ain't like it. He'll like your next match. But Kevin Owens was sitting there. Y'all remember the documentary?
He was ready to cry, bro. He's like, he was like, he said, but how was it? Vince was like, no. He's like, was it what you wanted? He said, no, it wasn't at all. And Kevin Owens is just like he's trying to be cool about it, but he got stuck. I was like, he about to cry, bro.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because according to Jericho, that joint, they went from being the main event, penciled in as the main event. Let's just say penciled in for the Universal Championship, all the way down. Then it was gonna be the opener. It's like, no, you're not open. You're the second on this card. And it's like, that's the depth slot.
Yeah. First of all, and I wouldn't want to have no freaking match with Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Sorry, Brandon. He's not it, man. He hasn't had a great match. I'm about to say since Shawn Michaels, his greatest WrestleMania match.
Even AJ Styles didn't have one.
No, AJ Styles hadn't had a good run. He had a match with Randy Orton. Nobody remembers it. Like AJ Styles is disappointing me. He's got to get a good dance partner for WrestleMania. But anyway, we're not gonna diverge on that. Anyway, CM Punk. Anybody have any more comments before we get into our new sponsor segment? Okay. All right, Man Cave Sports.
Yes, man. Wow. I missed the show tonight. I'm gonna go back and watch it. They had a similar show about this or that, so I'm gonna go back and watch that. But I don't know if you saw that comment.
The Prototype 619 says, I have no problem admitting there's a handful of times I cried watching wrestling, and Punk returning is one. I've been a huge fan of his since 2006, excuse me, and I thought I'd never see him in WWE again after 2014. Okay, let's discuss this. Go ahead.
I would say I can definitely I respect that. I love when people have these moments. You think about the kid crying. Yeah. The first thing I said when he came back, I was like, oh, Ciendo's here. Like, if anybody knows Ciendo, she been riding for Punk for years. And especially recently with All Out Brawl Out and
she burned somebody up on Twitter. Somebody went after Punk. Oh, she made them pay. She cooked somebody. I said, oh,
yeah. And I was like, dang. I said she wasn't sitting with us. But I was like, man, and she actually had a better seat because she was like over the pods. So she could see everything. And even she said, yo, well, after he left, like they took it, like AJ Lee was in her section. And I was like, I was happy. I was like, you know what? I said, I'm happy you was here for this. Like, for you to be able to experience, because you wrote for this dude, and for you to be able to experience that, that's the type of moments that I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be there when Chris Jericho is at WrestleMania and Brother Brandon is there, because he's going to cry.
Brother Brandon, what do you think about? He definitely going to cry, especially when Judas plays.
Thank you. I'm saying they're gonna play Judas.
They're gonna intro like the old Chris Jericho, like his countdown music. Then Judas is gonna freaking play. Everybody's gonna lose it.
Man,
CM Punk took a dip in the Lazarus pit before Saturday. You like this comment, Brother Brandon? Because you know this is from.
Exactly. I was waiting to see him. He
You knew good well I wasn't going to pick that up.
You should have picked up with the Lazarus Pit was.
Gracious.
I see.
Come on, you've been delving into some Batman stuff. You should know about this.
I knew DC too. Yeah, because would you like to explain?
Ra's al Ghul goes into the Lazarus Pit, and that's how he stays young, or he goes back to like heal himself. But that's what my favorite Jason Todd and one of the Jason Todd was put into the Lazarus Pit, brought back to life, and that's how he became the Red Hood. It's a whole story. One of the origins of the Red Hood.
Good Brandon, good brother Brian. Brian is like,
he's googling it right now.
He's like, nope, you lost me.
But Dwayne, here you go. I'm gonna take part of the show to tell you about my 2 cents on Punk.
Everybody,
so here's my 2 cents.
Here we go.
Everybody, come on. Let's pay attention.
So it's gonna be filled with some references, and you'll see where I'm coming from. So
wait a minute, hold on for a second. I feel it coming.
Brother, you've been cooking.
We got to get a sizzle sound in there.
Yeah, we do.
So first thing about, I still haven't told my CM Punk story, and I owe that to people. But I'm gonna just tell you this: I took my glasses off and looked at it through clear lens. Whenever somebody returns to wrestling,
You go, Brandon. That's
no, I'm saying because whenever somebody returns to wrestling, right, it always evokes a feeling. I'm not going to negate anybody's feeling that it evokes, because that's their connection, that's their moment. So somebody comes back from an injury, we're happy. We got there with Randy Orton. You could see it was in his face, people's passion. They remember, whether it be when the Miz girl, was looking when he lost his belt, or when we were cheering for Randy because it was anybody but seen him at that time. Whatever it was, we were happy to see Randy back. It took us back to those moments. Somebody being rehired. Braun Strowman music hit. The whole Bray Wyatt thing. We were all like, oh my gosh, right or wrong has been corrected. We were excited. So even coming back from a while, we're being not seen, like Brian H. with Trish Stratus. Seeing that music hit and she coming back full time, it evokes a feeling. So when you have somebody like CM Punk who has been surrounded with so much negativity and controversy, it's like, how do I have a feeling about this when I personally have a feeling that affected me that's going to keep fueling that negativity and controversy? So when I look through it through clear eyes, I'm like, is it bad for business or is it good? From a business standpoint, if we had a Stephanie McMahon as the CEO, I don't think we would have got him. But because we have a Khan as the CEO, we got this because he understands the business side.
Sure.
If they broke $1 million from a T-shirt sale because of him, that's just adds to that bottom line. TKO is probably happy. And when it translates to that controversy or that negativity, can they spin it and say, hey, every news outlet has been saying things about CM Punk. Let's bring the news to us. Let's control the narrative. Let's put this on us, because if there's money to be made that Tony Khan had missed out on, let's do it. Because let's be honest, when you look at the WWE, it's kind of like the 616 universe. Sure. And AEW is the ultimate universe. WWE actually equals entertainment. It literally is just entertainment. AEW is wrestling. Yeah, it's wrestling. AEW is just pure wrestling. If I want to watch a wrestling match, I'm going to tune on to AEW. I'm going to tune into TNA/Impact. Now, granted, I'm going to get some stories in Impact, but it's not going to be storytelling like entertainment as WWE is.
Sure.
So
it's always one company that's wrestling based.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
Ring of Honor used to be.
When you look at it, we watched Cody try to do what he is doing now in AEW and failed miserably. And it even came into the Codyverse. But as soon as that music hit, the whoa-whoas caught on in WWE instantly. He tried to get that whoa-whoa for 6 years prior and never caught on. But because of the entertainment aspect, and just like I said to you, once Jey Uso started doing this, I said, oh, he's good.
Oh, he's going to found his thing.
He's by himself. We forgot who the Usos are. We know Jey now. And it was because he found a way to entertain people. True. Is he the best wrestler on the planet? No. If he was to go to AEW as a singles competitor, he would be just like any other tag team competitor, being split up and just being, oh, he's going to have a tag team partner in 6 months because we don't know how to book him. Whereas though now, And I'm gonna wrap it up about CM Punk. It's good for business because it's going to do exactly what it needs, like we're doing now. We're talking about him. You could not see anything on YouTube from Saturday night until this moment without saying CM Punk something. Everybody's reaction, whether it's a work shoot, work shoot, whatever you want to call it, there was a reaction that was newsworthy. There was something that's on the eyes on the product. The YouTube views are there, which is absolutely monetized. So they getting money from viewership, foot traffic, names in their mouth, and then guess what Triple H said? He made a good point. He said, "I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. Yeah. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago?" And he kept it. He kept it kind of like, "Look, I made the call. My executives didn't even know." He said the people at TKO were surprised. He said, "You know what?
He shut it down real quick, didn't
Vince. Yep, I watched Vince mend these things way too long. It took too long for him to mend. Let me not make that same mistake and let me deal and cast while the fire is hot." Now, are we going to be sitting here waiting for what's his backstage heat? He's not going to have a chance to have backstage heat because those people are gone that he could have had this heat with. There's a whole different WWE. It's a whole different atmosphere. So I was the first one to say WWE doesn't need him, but then I had to say it in the same breath. Did WWE need Randy Orton right now either? Did WWE need Kyrie Sane? Did WWE need Bray Wyatt at the time when he came back?
Royal Rumble is going to be nuts. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You get what I'm saying? So, yes, we might not have needed him, but when I sat back and thought about it from a business standpoint, yes. Does that change my personal feelings? Because his promo felt the same way it did 10 years ago. His promo feels the same every time. I'm going to stick to my ground that I do not have memorable CM Punk moments that I can sit here and say, "Oh, let me go back and watch this CM Punk match." No, I'm going to go back and watch his promo. I'll go back and watch his promos before I watch his matches.
It is true.
And I'm going to be honest, and he had some of my favorite wrestlers wrestle him. I don't have an urge to go back and watch it because to me, it's an afterthought. But I understand those people that the guy that was crying when he made his return to wrestling because he was their hero. You know, just like everybody has that person in wrestling that is their person. Just for me, it's something that affected me personally that I can't get past that, and that's all I'm going to remember. You get what I'm saying? So, but you get what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, like the song, and it was crazy because when they said about the song, the WWE got me really well. Triple H, when that song was remastered on Friday, I said, "Oh my God, he's actually coming back." I said, "No, ain't no way."
What's remastered about it? Sounds like the version he used in AEW.
No, it's so probably... you know about music. What they did was just re-record because after a certain amount, like what Taylor Swift did, she went back and re-recorded, so she owns that part now because you can only keep it for so many years, and then the statue is gone, so they went and redid it. So think about it, WWE like we got to own that song, make sure that we get it right then and there. But it says, and this is something crazy. I always say people's music are them. In the song Cult of Personality, and this is the last thing I'm gonna leave you on. It says, "When a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me. You can only set me free. I sell the things you need to be. I'm the smiling face on your TV." That's CM Punk right there. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, what did Cody say? First word in his songs. Wrestling.
Look in my eyes with. Oh yeah, wrestling is more than one role family.
Yep.
And that came directly from Cody. But
you cooking?
The chef is cooking.
Hit the music. Brandon's barbecue.
Brandon's barbecue. Ladies and gentlemen, that segment was sponsored by JR's Barbecue Psych.
Good old JR.
Brandon's KC, if you want to sponsor the segment. Brandon's barbecue. He was cooking. All excellent points, brother Brandon. I don't agree with all of it. Not what you said, but just about, like, I have the opposite. I've been a fan of CM Punk since he started, right? Simply because out of like pure, I saw him first. You know what I mean? Like, well, what do you mean?
Remember, I was a fan in his ECW days until that incident happened, and then I instantly was like, "Nope, I'm good."
See, I same thing. Like I said, I watched him. I knew he was coming. I knew him from the magazines. Yeah,
you know, I was a CM Punk fan.
I knew him from the magazines, and I knew him from the magazines. So when he showed up at ECW and he did his promo, I knew exactly who he was. And I've been a fan of his probably ever since. Not all of his eras and incarnations of himself. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he doesn't have like the greatest matches in the world. But I remember when Edge went out, I was like, yo, there's room for somebody else to step up to be a next top guy. You know, CM Punk was on commentary at one point. Came back
he's
from
done
the
a lot
injury.
for the business. I'm just saying, his matches, like the Jericho, I think I was soured on the Jericho match because when you bring real life,
which Jericho match? He had better.
the one with alcohol. Remember
he
with
had
the bottle
better-
breaking and
He had better
WrestleMania?
chemistry with him in his early years.
Yeah,
Like when with his long hair, like his world heavyweight, his cage match with Jericho and he had a cage match on Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. Unbelievable. I like it. It was really. I had it on my iPod. I had an iPod video. It was one of my favorite matches that I saw. I think as he got older, he worked differently because of where he was as far as like his demeanor. Like he wasn't just like a young boy working with a vet. He was like, no, I'm the main guy, and he was working differently. But no, I don't disagree with you on that aspect. CM Punk is definitely a moneymaker. But let's just jump right into it. We'll finish up with this.
Did y'all see what Brother Drew said?
Start the movement, custom barbecue. There it is. That should be the name of the company instead of your custom t-shirt company. Custom barbecue.
Custom guy.
Always cooking. But let's get into it. Good for business, bad for business. Brother Brandon kind of already started us off. Sponsored by. You can be that sponsor. Contact us at wrestlingaround@gmail.com. If you like to sponsor the segment, good for business, bad for business. Now we're gonna put this wonderful graphic created by Brother Hugh. Good for business, bad for business. CM Punk. Brandon, you already started it off. So I'm gonna ask the rest of the brothers, and then we're gonna ask the $1 million question as we kind of wrap this up. Good for business, bad for Brother Hugh. Good for business, bad for business. CM Punk return to WWE. Is this what the company needs? Is this what he needs? Is this what's good for the locker room? Is this good for business or bad? Is this good for the world of professional wrestling? That another big name star goes to WWE when WWE doesn't need any more big name stars, right? But yet another one has decided that I've been everywhere else, and this is the only place I really fit in. I left here thinking that I didn't fit in here, but he said, as much as I'm afraid to say it, I'm home. Good for business, bad for business.
Well, I already touched base on it earlier. I mean, it's good for business, as far as making money or whatnot. As far as the locker room, I don't think we're going to have any problems because WWE has that structure, something that AEW didn't have. Then you also have to think about when Punk was in AEW. I feel like it's a little bit of pressure off of him.
You break it up here. Couldn't hear you. You said back when he was in AEW.
Yeah, you good. Yep.
Clear.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little pressure off of him now. Like he's relieved of pressure now because if you think about it, when he was in AEW, the show was for him. Like he literally don't show. So he had to be that top guy all the time, locker room, in front of the people, whatnot. He had to be that guy. But now that he's back in the WWE, like I said, with that structure and with other people that's somewhat on his level,
he
doesn't have to play that role. He doesn't have to have extra pressure on him. So I think it'll work out for him, honestly. And Triple H, like we say, Triple H is all about making money. He don't care about beef. He don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, they had the same understanding, that same respect for each other. Just like I believe with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, there's a beef there, but at the end of the day, they're going to come together. They're going to have one hell of a feud
and make a ton of money from it.
There is. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So it's great. It's great for business.
Brian H. CM Punk, good for business, bad for business. Return to the WWE.
Oh, it's great for business.
All right,
it's great for business. The wrestling business as a whole.
Why is that? Now, why is it great for the wrestling business as a whole to have CM Punk no longer part of the alternative, but now a part of the established juggernaut?
Because he already has a following, but there's also still that following that didn't follow over to AEW, right?
Yeah, that's a key point.
So now they get their Punk back.
There you go.
What it's going to do is it's going to force AEW to sink or swim.
Look how frustrated Brandon looks as you talk about it. He looks just not happy about this. He's just like,
right. He's like, God dang it, that Punk. And the thing is, I don't think
Mhm.
AEW can compete with WWE the
No,
way
it's not.
WCW did.
There's no way.
But I do think they will continue to put up a fight in their own way.
Okay, fair enough.
And that means there may be some hot shot booking.
Sure.
There may be some different opportunities, like, it'll keep it from going stale. I also think it's going to help people realize, you know what? Punk went back to WWE. Maybe I can go over there and get a shot. Therefore, AEW will say, well, man, we need to treat our guys better. We need to do something different.
Mhm.
Now, QT Marshall left, or QT Marshall. And
did
they said
you notice that too? That was crazy.
And
I'm
they
not.
said
He's the Cody guy. Come on now. All his
I was
boys are
gonna
gone.
say.
Diamond Dallas Page, Cody, everybody's gone.
DDP gone?
DDP, he's not working with AEW anymore. Man,
He left right after Cody.
Okay,
Yeah, right
I
after
didn't
Cody.
realize. I knew he was
quietly left.
Yeah, I know he was at some of the WWE shows, but I just thought,
because I think
was at the Royal Rumble last year. So,
like, remember he appeared on something. Like, not like, don't get me wrong. Remember they were showing something. And I was like, oh look, Diamond Dallas Page is back on WWE programming or something.
That's
true. Even Cody's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it was his story after that story. He was in that. The one that came on Peacock.
Yeah, so I think what that does is it will force their hand, and they're going to have to make some changes. And usually when that happens, the wrestling business, we as wrestling fans win. Look what happened. That's how we got the Attitude Era. So I don't know exactly what AEW will do or will need to do, but it also shows that WWE's going for the juggler. That's what makes it good for the business. It's
Big
like
time.
It's not like, okay, we got too many stars over here. It's like, all right, you know what? You look at with Seth Rollins, right? I like to call that a work shoot.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Because was he angry? Yes. But come on now. Come on. Seth Rollins, not Michael Cole. Like, no disrespect. I know he kind of got some weight on him, but Seth Rollins do CrossFit. If he really wanted to get at him, he could have. No, let's sell some money, because now Seth Rollins probably like cha-ching.
They tried to say on like, oh, he's a Michael Cole. They had to send a WWE official because Seth Rollins wasn't going to run over him because you push Michael Cole, you can get fined.
Bingo. But now, guess what? Cha-ching!
Because everybody's bag goes up.
And he just penciled with two people who wanted one thing. Marquee of WrestleMania. They got it. That's it.
Yeah. So my thing. What's the first thing I always say when a wrestler goes to a company? Well, at least we'll start to get WWE action figures.
New action figures.
I knew it was coming. I was waiting to say, when's the New York figures? Look, they got some in the warehouse. They can just say, send these out, the re-release.
They've got some competition because AEW's all the action figures aren't like the same quality as WWE. I think it's actually better than all the WWE when they put out. But that's the toy companies are kind of competing as well. Jazzwares and Mattel have been going back and forth.
That's what I learned from Coach in his interview with Chris Van Vliet, that because the toy companies make it, he didn't get the action figure, so he bought like a few of his own, because it's not like if it was WWE they comp you, but like, nah, we ain't comping you. You ain't The Rock.
Yeah, that's how they get. Well, he isn't The Rock.
Can I add something, Brian? You mentioned something really interesting about AEW hotshot booking. I don't think it's hotshot booking. I think it's Tony Khan booking what he wants to see. Because honestly, I fell asleep on AEW tonight, and guess why I fell asleep? It was nothing that was keeping me interested. And what the downfall was, and you have two legends on your show, and the best you could do is sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to talk about your final match is going to happen in a historic place." And I know I'm biased to this. And I thought they was going to say in Baltimore, Maryland, the home of WCW, and then he said,
"Wow,
Greensboro, North Carolina." I was like, "Who remembers?" Yes, you remember that match, but where does Sting have more roots with WCW? Flair has more roots in North Carolina and Carolina, right?
Yeah, Flair. Even Sting mentioned Baltimore when he talked about his most famous moments and his moments where Flair said, "I remember that Great American Bash in Baltimore, Maryland."
Because that was the match that made him, right?
It wasn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't. I had that.
No. You absolutely right because he said.
I'm
gonna bring up an old name. Shout out to the Wrestling Realm group. But when Shannon Rutherford came on, an old Wrestling Realm show I had years ago, she brought that up. The Sting Flair match at Great American Bash, like that is, like you said, that's the match that made him. You know, as far as when you think of Ric Flair and Sting, that was the one where he finally got over the hump. I think it was a schoolboy pin. It was like that skin of the teeth win.
Yep. And it's actually a really good. It's actually a fun match to watch. Go ahead, Brian H.
I was gonna say I might be taking that trip though. I ain't gonna lie.
But you get what I'm saying? Like you made that announcement.
You gotta be careful. Y'all see last time with the Greensboro, we don't say come back.
But you see how they do it. Why could we get a video package for that? That's what I mean by WWE. I mean AEW just hot shot booking. It's Tony Khan. Oh, go ahead and give us a video package of the arena. Give us a video package of Sting's story.
He's gonna have to pivot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying you're gonna have because you ain't gonna be able to live off Edge and Christian.
No.
For the next 10 years, next year.
What's he gonna do when that? First of all, Sting is still one of his most highest rated, and his biggest drawing entities. What's gonna happen when Sting retires? Like you said, you got Edge and Christian there, but as much as you're watching them,
waiting.
Edge and Christian is still not the same Edge and Christian that you're watching in AEW.
But you got Mox. Remember, he always put Mox in the limelight. Whenever Mox is gonna win that tournament, watch. Mox is gonna win that tournament.
Mox is going to check. He's going to check his health and say, you know what? I'm not satisfied with AEW's protocol when it comes to keeping their wrestlers healthy for the next 5 to 10 years. Going back home.
Blue and gold. He's gonna win the blue and gold Triple Crown, winner take all, Spectacle G1, Best of the Best, World Series.
He's trying to make that man relevant.
Yep, I'm telling you, he gonna win.
Yeah. Mox and Chris Jericho are going to stay at AEW the longest. This is how Tony Khan books his shows. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, I like this guy. And I want him to do this, and I want him to do that, and then flip him that way. Okay, hold on, let me write this down. Perfect. Okay, guys, I got creative for next week. This is what we're going to do. No, you're not doing it right. I want you to go like this. I want you to do the arm drag, grab his arm this way, then you go that way, and then you just lock him up like that.
We're not gonna put you on TV because you didn't respond to my text. You didn't play video games for me. I don't think, and as much as I want,
clipping this right there for social media.
Is that
this man had a whole match with action figures?
No, that's how Tony Khan books the show.
Yeah,
he's got his AEW figures, but then he goes, "Okay, what are we gonna do this week?" But you know who he can't book anymore? CM Punk. It's because he is officially back. He's
home.
He's home. It's awkward, right?
He can't talk about it right legally. He can't speak on
it. And I respect that. And I'm sure there is a.
I love the promo though.
I didn't mind it either because my thing is if that's always who he has been, I don't need him to evolve. That's what everybody loved about him, right? Whether you love him or hate him, the audience is look at Brandon. The audience is large enough where they said, "No, we like this version." I thought it fit him. Once again, I'm left with more questions than answers because you say, okay, cool. Now, what does that mean about the main event scene? We got Roman, we got Cody, we got Randy, we got Seth, we got Sammy, we got Kevin, we got a lot of major players. We got main event Jey Uso, we got Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of then we got Gunther knocking on the door. We have a lot. We got the Miz. I just keep going. There's not to mention we have all these young guys coming up.
We didn't forgot about our United States champion. Remember, he didn't got relegated to the afterthought now. Remember, that was we was talking about 2 weeks ago. Now we like,
but the crazy part is when you're that famous, when you show up, you're that important. You're important. Not to mention, you don't know when Brock Lesnar's going to re-show back up. So there's a lot of history there.
Brock and Gunther. Here's the thing, though.
He gonna come F5 Seth, so Damian Priest can take the title off of him.
Oh, but Wayne brought up a good point. It's a lot of main eventers, right? We are going into WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You can make an argument that 17, you can make an argument that 19 was like really stacked WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania 38 was booked as the most stupendous WrestleMania. They got 2 nights to fill. You got all these main eventers. That means you're going to have
getting to do those 2 nights.
So many high profile matches.
You're not gonna be able to miss a night.
You're
Every
not.
match is gonna be important.
Pencil in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be no filler.
Pencil in Jimmy versus Jay. Right.
Yeah.
Pencil in Punk and Rollins.
Okay. Are you still convinced that that's what it's going to be?
Yeah, yeah.
It has
Punk
to
and
be.
Rollins.
It has to be.
That's
you
the money.
think CM Punk beats Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
No.
Nah. So you think CM Punk loses to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think for Punk it's just being in the match.
Okay, fair enough.
Being in the main event, right?
No, what I see happening is Punk winning and Damian cashing in on Punk.
Right.
I don't think you give Damian that moment. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Damian's ready. I'm sorry.
I think Damian just honestly got pushed back to a possible expiration.
I think
well,
so.
No, the reason I'm saying is he loses the tag titles early in the night, and that's his redemption.
No, he's not. No, Damian Priest isn't somebody. You're not closing WrestleMania with him. Yeah, you could do Survivor Series. You could do Backlash. You're not closing WrestleMania.
I feel like
hold on.
We got to stop thinking like Triple H. We got to stop thinking like Vince and start thinking like Triple H swerving us.
You got to think money.
And what's better money for
Tony Khan.
CM Punk? You said Nick Khan.
Excuse me.
I got a couple more bookings though. I got a couple more pencils for you. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. Pencil that in.
It's no way to win.
Money, social media.
You think they'll put celebrities in the match with each other? Is Logan Paul officially a wrestler?
Or you throw in a tag title. Not tag title, tag team. So like, let's just say
third or fourth person.
All right,
like Sami Zayn and Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens and Bad Bunny, something like that.
Real quick, do you think you think Bad Bunny gets like a single spot?
At WrestleMania.
So like say like you do like a Logan Paul versus a Dragon Lee, and then you do a Bad Bunny versus whoever, like
Damian Priest rematch. Damian Priest get that receipt. That's the one.
Or Dominic, because he didn't wrestle Dominic yet.
That's true.
1-on-1.
No, I think I run that back. Dominic and Ray, and Dominic sends Ray home, right? And then also the women, slight pencil, Bianca, Charlotte, Rhea, Becky. Like the thing is, like, and the point is that you're gonna, and let's just say for this conversation, Gunther and Brock, right? You're gonna have so many big matches that it's not gonna be okay. I'm settling. You know what I mean? Like last year, Seth Rollins match with Logan Paul was a high profile match. It's like, okay, if I can't be in the world title match, give me I want the highest profile match I can get. You're gonna have so many of those. This is how they go. This WrestleMania 40 could be what WrestleMania 17 was the WCW without the actual purchasing of the company, but it could be the one that they kind of with WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania 14 was the WCW. That like they said that was the turning point, and that was the point when they realized.
Listen. It's giving off those vibes as loaded. Like this is I can't think of,
because WrestleMania 14 was loaded. When you go back and look at it, that was loaded.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
and this is more. They got.
Yeah, this is the most star power that I've seen at one time in a long time. Right? Usually it's either Cena, Edge, Undertaker, Triple H, Batista. During that era we talked about. But like, when we talk about just main event storylines and just stories all the way across the board with the quality of matches and those who are on the card, I don't know, gentlemen, we might be knocking on a different type of door. Adam was like, Adam said, he said, when I think I like Triple H running the show better than I like Vince running the show. Mind you, he's 9. He hadn't even seen enough.
What the heck?
He's seen enough. But I said, you know what, buddy, Vince is great. And he had his time. But Triple H knows what he's doing.
I told you. My son told me he don't. I was like, Edge is going to take on Christian. I'm not watching Edge in AEW. Not the same.
And they don't get that over there. They don't get that.
guy.
Bro, he cried when he saw Edge live and in person. I saw the
footage. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck?
He was like, dang, I didn't realize you liked him that much. You know what I mean? But that's what they don't get, because that's why I made the joke earlier. And like I said, we'll wrap this up because we're pushing. This has been a great show. When I saw him, I said, oh yeah, Edge joined Aces and Eights. And like, oh, Edge is and Tony Schiavone, Edge has got a new look. I said, come on, man. Ricochet. Okay, yeah, there you go.
That sense. There it is. Thank you. But he get what I'm saying.
yeah. Because Ricochet would be the one I would choose to work with, one of those guys.
And Ricochet got to get a receipt.
Of course, he owes him one.
Because Samantha Irvin gonna be cooking with that WrestleMania dress.
You already know. And Logan Paul like making slick comments.
Yeah, he had to get.
But AEW don't get that. Like Christian keeps wearing an ascot or a turtleneck when he wrestles, and I'm just like, as much as
he's the patriarch.
As much as I'm enjoying like the whole stuff between them two, it doesn't scream Edge and Christian. You know what I mean?
Nope.
The comments do, the verbal exchanges, the history, get all that. But when they ring the bell, it's not familiar. And it's like you don't have those moments anymore. And it's when AEW is so obsessed with the wrestling. Just ring the bell and let them wrestle. Okay, I appreciate that. But this is also entertainment. You're talking to a guy that will stop liking a wrestler if he has the wrong color pants on. So
this is what I argue with Justin Ciendo about why Ospreay is not the best in the world.
Ooh. Dang, I guess I forgot about Ospreay. Just that fast.
In the wrong company.
Bingo. That was my point. I said, to me, you got to be in the big leagues.
Him and Jay.
That's why I wanted to put him. Remember, Dwayne, this is why I wanted to put him on the top 10, but I kept saying he was in the wrong company.
Him and Jay White went to NXT.
Jay White is the but see, and the problem is the AEW lawyers won't see it that way. They're just gonna say, "Oh, you're just supporting WWE." No, I want the best for AEW. The thing is, I should feel like Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW. I feel like nope, Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Friday SmackDown.
Dwayne says
that's my week.
That's it.
WCW in this work in 2000.
Bro,
was still better.
I'm telling you, at its worst days, they were still selling out arenas. Kevin Nash will tell you, like, look, man, as bad as the ratings were, we were still selling out arenas. Live events weren't the issue. And business was terrible.
Right. But here's the other thing. You got a whole nother show. I haven't even tuned into an ROH show since because I gave up on them.
And they got Ronda Rousey over there.
They do.
Even though it's like Ronda probably trying to prove her point that she liked the business.
I think she's just trying to get that's exactly what I was thinking too, Brian. I think she's just trying to get reps because she's like, well, I want to wrestle because I don't want people to think I'm just bluffing.
But
that's not the answer. I want women to get more storylines. Okay, the women have to get better. Like, no, they're like,
but you got two of your top titles vacant, and nobody even noticed.
Yeah. Wait, what?
The ROH World title is basically tied in the tournament because that's one of the belts up for grab, and then he gave up the television title. Think about it, he gave up the television title because he wanted a world title match. So you got two titles that are vacant in ROH.
Wait, so Kingston not the champ?
He's the champ, but he's in the tournament, and that's one of the things that you win. The New Japan Strong Openweight title, the ROH title, and the new title will be the Triple Crown champion. That's engulfed in the tournament.
Yeah.
And he lost his first round match. And his second round is with Bryan Danielson. So he's going to be the last two matches. So if he doesn't win the tournament, he loses both his belts.
You addressed him as head of the discipline committee, Bryan Danielson.
That's true.
You're lucky I didn't call him Daniel Bryan. I actually got it right this time.
First of all, it's Daniel Bryan. It's always going to be Daniel Bryan. He hasn't been Bryan Danielson in 20 years.
But I'm just confused because the formula for AEW is right there. I don't think Tony Khan wants to use the formula. He wants to do it his way, and that's fine. When you are a millionaire, you have toys to play with. You do what you want. You don't have to listen to anybody. You do it your way. And I hate to say it, this WrestleMania could be the nail in the coffin because let's call it what it is. Cody bet on himself and went out there and did things, right? Came back home. It's probably making twice the amount of money that he did when he bet on himself.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
The additional stuff. Not his salary, the additional things.
Merchandise.
The endorsements, the merchandise revenue, all that stuff, right? If he's making these calls, right, and we know certain wrestlers are close with each other because FTR got
QT Marshall.
Yeah, FTR got Edge over there because he's like, hey, you want to still wrestle? They not giving you a tour to come here, right? Who's to say FTR won't go back? Because remember, last year this time, Andrade was picking fights trying to get fired so he can go back.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get what he wanted at AEW.
He was picking fights with everybody.
Miro apparently been saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Miro probably still got his WWE mentality in AEW.
Sure, protect your own brand.
Yeah, he's probably just waiting for his contract to be up so he can say, hey, Triple H, can I come back? Hey, you got a spot for me? Because you don't need to enjoy nice catering. You want to enjoy what you're doing.
Sure.
You know, yeah, Akira Tozawa, he's getting TV time. He wrestled how many times in this year?
Promotes the championship belts for the NFL team.
That's
it. But he's getting the paycheck. He's being seen. You get what I'm saying? Like
you guys see that dance he does every time, and it's like
you're right.
It's called.
But then you got Andrade who tweeted he only had 2 matches on a pay-per-view or 2 matches. What do you say? 2 matches on pay-per-view since he's been there. Yeah, since he's been there. But you don't have a spot for that guy on the whole roster. But you yanked up all these people.
Fine wife,
bro. My kid was busting a gut at Tozawa. I don't know what he found so funny, but it worked. I was like, look, TV said it's working. And every time they be like, Tozawa, hit the funky monkey. He does the same dance, the same little dance every single time. And they be like, oh, Tozawa,
nasty.
Do the slippity slide. He goes, and he does the same dance every.
That's entertainment.
Like,
he's being
nasty.
seen.
Keep it PG.
Because which guy was looking for jelly rolls, and I said, "Oh, we're back to some more entertainment."
Well, R-truth came back there. He was back in the chapter with powdered sugar covered jelly rolls everywhere. And Martinez and what I call him, Punishing Martinez, and freaking Dane Priest was like, "Truth, what are you doing in our clubhouse? You're getting powder everywhere." Like he wasn't even mad. He was just confused. He said, "Y'all need a 5th member for War Games." He said, "Truth. War Games was 2 days ago." Well, did you win?
No, when he said he was going to declare himself for the Rumble and for the what was it, the Money Bank? He said that's not a Brock Lesnar. He said I'm not in it anymore and left out of the ring.
Nice, stupid.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I really think this WrestleMania. And when I say this WrestleMania season, we're gonna start.
Buckle up.
If he doesn't cancel Collision, think about it. The network is probably gonna cancel it. If you think the network is gonna wind up.
When last time y'all watched Collision?
I didn't even know it's still on.
Like live. I'm gonna tell you when I watched it. Last time I watched it was the Keith Lee Samoa Joe match. It beat Keith Lee.
That was well after me.
And left the belt in the ring, and I was like, okay, I'm so confused. Why did he just let Keith Lee win? I don't get it.
No, you have a whole Mark Briscoe right there. You have all these
or that.
ROH
That's the easy
people.
one. I don't get that either, bro.
You have
you
had a whole Jay Lethal. Well, look, we said the same thing. That's when I really soured. If you go back and watch AEW tonight, you'll see Jay Lethal come out. He's like this. Let me just go do this daggone match. His face told everything. I said, "Yep, he's losing."
He might go back to TNA and call it a day.
And it was so I was like, "Yep, he's definitely losing." He didn't even. He looked like he was going through the motions.
He's a utility guy now.
He definitely is.
You said what?
How come you don't want me? That Fresh Prince said. How come you don't want me, man?
He looked like he was. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
you have people over there drinking people's blood, but
yeah, I think AEW's probably got the most talent that they're not doing anything with. Like, I like I don't know. I think half the people that's in Ring of Honor should go to TNA Wrestling. Let TNA build up, be another brand.
And one good TV deal, investor away or something.
Yeah, no doubt.
But did you see NWA is actually on CW?
So that is a thing. For how long?
I had to go search, and it actually had something on there. I said,
"Yeah."
They probably got into it. They said, "Listen,
Camille just left."
Like we got. Can we have a year? Can we just have it for a year to NXT?
You're gonna have this until 2024. Do what you can. They probably signed a 6-month deal. Like, look, you got 6 months test run, like TNN, ECW, and TNN. Yeah, Camille, you talking about Nick Aldis's heater? I wonder where she's going.
Right.
I'm sorry, NXT. She said
But
it right
Mickey
here.
James finish up with what you call it?
You know where she's going? WWE.
Royal Rumble. She's gonna be at the Royal Rumble.
Yep. She probably start work at the Performance Center or something.
Man, look,
Hey.
Tampa, baby, we in there.
What's in Tampa?
The Royal Rumble, St. Petersburg.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
I just came from sort of similar to Tampa. I'm familiar with the area. I'm like a resident.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
We'll gas up the pacer. Let's go back.
Oh, yes.
He's gonna get this freeze over. He's
Yeah, he
determined.
really is. He's trying. Yeah.
You notice that, right?
Yes, with the pacer.
Hey, he
Well,
keeps
none
saying
of
that like
y'all-
I keep saying. Everybody has a story.
I know.
None of y'all got planes, so we can't gas up the plane.
Well,
ice-
yeah, that's
de-ice
a good
the plane.
We got to make new friends. Somebody's got a private jet. What's
I
Vince
know.
doing? You think he still likes us, or is he mad at us still?
Ooh, Tony,
probably still
that's
mad.
your boy.
Pretty sure we can,
So
we can
Vince.
talk to him.
We'll talk to Vince. We'll call Vince. Vince, we're gonna call
Vince
you.
McMahon,
We know.
let
We
me
know,
talk to you.
we know you're listening, Vince. Oh shoot, I forgot about LA Knight. We talking about all the CM Punk and all these main event guys and new faces.
He might be in trouble.
I think he
He-
is.
I don't think he's gonna be in trouble because as long as he goes out there and goes limit, he can be a people's guy. Come out
That's
there,
true.
show his face,
Which
It
one
was
you like
LA
more,
Knight.
yeet or yeah?
bro.
That
It's
he's getting on my
I don't-
nerves.
why is everybody's getting over now? It's ridiculous. They're like, it's getting over
It's
because they put it on a
entertainment.
t-shirt. It's working,
Mhm.
bro. And I'm just like, I've never seen so many people be important at one time. Usually it's your top guy, the second top
Yes,
guy, then your
it's a
women.
whole roster.
It's like I'm
Yeah.
saying this.
You brought up Randy Orton returning.
Mhm.
He's the perfect person because he'll call everybody out on it. Because he said, man, I watched Triple H and The Rock and Stone Cold going in the arenas. That's over. He said,
There you
when we got this is what he said almost 2 years ago. He said, that's not over. What they had was over. So now he gonna challenge that locker room.
There you go.
You know, and you see, like when CM Punk came on, he's like, "Oh, let me sit my chair down. What's up, man?" You know,
He was waiting for
that's the you know, they probably boys go back, you
They
know.
are, you know.
So it's the wrestling business is getting good.
Ain't
The
it?
WWE business in good hands. And,
Yeah, no doubt, man.
I'm excited. We get ready to tune up, get the car ready to get on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And I'm excited for it.
I
Yeah,
got
no
one
doubt.
last question for y'all.
Mhm.
With the Bash in Berlin and what's the other pay-per-view
France.
overseas in France, do we see a
Mhm.
return of the European title?
I don't-
I wouldn't.
I don't
Not
know,
this year, or I should say,
I
not in
don't think so.
2024. But I think if those be super successful, I think maybe the UK title.
That's what I'm
Just
saying, because
vacate
if they
the merge
do,
it.
What's kind of going to be beyond the United Kingdom now, you know what I mean? Which is kind of why they got rid of
Yeah.
it.
right,
Nah,
that's why I said it
I'll
would
be
be.
The
We'll get
European
some
title
first
would be nice. Bring that belt back. It looks gorgeous.
Was-
It would be, yeah.
I was just saying, bring it back for that territory, or for, for that tournament. And say, that's the spark of NXT UK,
What if-
and that's the main
what if-
title.
What if we get a new version of it, kind of like we did with the World Heavyweight Championship, which that belt looks better and better every day I see it. Not that it doesn't
On
look
Rhea
good.
Ripley, it looks awesome. Don't like her Can we just talk about Rhea Ripley entrance?
I ain't gonna lie. I want one.
I want that one so
I'm
bad.
just
I
mad
want
that
to
it's
watch
not
one.
big, bro. I'm like,
It looked huge on
I probably
her.
would still get it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
But
it.
I'm saying,
but
the
I
way she
gotta
came down, it's
Mhm.
something about her entrance. Did you see on Survivor Series where Michael Cole said, if you look up the word star, there's a picture of Rhea Ripley just there. I was
And then
like,
they did the same thing when they were in at Crown Jewel when she showed up.
Yep.
I was like,
and she had all those men around her.
yeah, man. Are you
No,
kidding
that's
me?
because she is loved by everybody, all types of people. You
And-
know, everybody be taking second looks at Rhea Ripley.
And the kids too. Like I've never seen a villain get so over with children, especially the boys.
Mhm.
They get a kick
Right.
out of her, and she be
And
cussing
I
them
thought
out.
Zo-
all kinds of stuff.
I thought Zoe Stark held her own in that match.
She
I
definitely
think she's
did.
a. I think she's
I
an up and
expect a little
comer.
bit more from them too.
The chemistry probably not the best, but I don't think Zoe Stark didn't look like she was lost in the lights. That's what I mean.
Yeah, she's still fresh. She's still got some time.
Yeah, she didn't feel like Tamina at Elimination Chamber or against
Yeah, that
Beth
was
Phoenix.
bad. She just
Oh my
froze.
God.
It was like, dang, the
Yeah.
buildup was there, and then she just didn't show
Mhm.
up.
And we talk about the men. Look at the women that we still got that haven't even come back yet. We
Trish
still
Stratus.
waiting for. Yes, Trish. I still want to see her as a world champion. But also, look at Liv Morgan is still not back.
Right. True.
Right.
Alexa Bliss just had a baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, and Carmelo. She's still out because they had their baby too. So we got some ringers in the background that still can pop up, and I act like I'm okay, but my face has been because we haven't got a former Kyrie, official Kyrie Sane entrance. I'm just waiting to see if she's still the Sky Pirate. I was waiting for that.
Mercedes.
You think she comes back in a Rumble?
Oh,
she's gonna make some buzz real quick globally. So her name's ringing, and then she's gonna show up.
You think Rumble or you think Elimination Chamber?
The Rumble's kind of the obvious one. I'm short term.
I think she after Mania. You think after Mania, then Monday after Mania?
We're gonna.
You think you're gonna be for that?
Yeah, she'll be at WrestleMania.
Okay, she'll be with Bailey.
Tony
Bailey
to reach out to her on purpose, and she's going to probably turn him down. He's going to make it clear, like, "Oh yeah, we reached out to her. She turned us down." So you probably figure out what's going to happen next, like that type sneak dissing type thing. Like really, Tony, that's what we're doing.
Like, what Troy said about Jade.
Yeah, kind of.
When she's ready, we're ready. He basically told her to go sit there until she get herself together. I was like, oh. Is that what I heard you say?
At no fault of her own part, though.
She didn't develop. He wasn't wrong. He just put her out there.
And she knew that.
Yeah, I mean, I
she
think
knew
everybody
that she had to go there.
That was always our critique, though. Like we've always said it, like, well, now she has a presence, but she's limited in the ring because she's just got started. She's a former athlete. She's not coming from the professional wrestling business. You know what I mean? But
and for the fact that she had to learn on the job.
Sure, and that's
changed my perspective because I'm like, dang, she really was in the ring trying to get reps in
as a champion. But by all means, like she was a freaking franchise player. So that's a lot of pressure as it is. But and then once again, lack of dance partners in situations and scenarios to find yourself in. And from
it wasn't lack; it was keeping dance partners from her.
But the thing is, who is she going to learn from? They're all fresh faces.
Well, so that's the thing. They were fresh faces to AEW, but they weren't to the wrestling business.
But hear me out, though. Jade is a superstar. Who was going to teach her how to be a superstar? Some people.
I'm talking about the wrestling side. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about wrestling.
You see what I'm saying? So, think about it. Jade is a superstar. It was like, okay, cool. So when you come in as a superstar, like Logan Paul comes in, right? He immediately gets in the match with Roman. He immediately gets a match with Seth Rock. You know what I mean? Like they're superstars. So they taught him, listen, this
Rey
is
Mysterio. I'm tripping. Rey
Mysterio is another. You know what I mean? Like exactly. Like he's a superstar. So who are you gonna work with and against? Other superstars. He's not an amateur wrestler. He's not the Creed brothers. You know what I mean? Because the Creed brothers, who are they working with right now? Alpha Academy. It makes sense. Like, okay, cool. No,
and remember, I said that a while ago. I said, are they the new members of Alpha Academy?
You know, they. First of all, I've watched these guys in NXT as far as their personalities. Them and who's Pretty Deadly. Man, they're really, really good. Their personalities are like, yo,
they're boys.
Yes boys.
Hilarious.
They're like, if you understand like British fashion guys, it's like, okay, all right, it makes sense. They really were arguing over whether these chips or crisp. That exchange with Otis and that whole group and R-Truth popped up. I was like, they're really good. They weren't like that a few years ago as far as their demeanor. Like they learned how to be performers. Yep. That was my issue with Jade and AEW. Like, bro, she's a superstar. She has, and they knew it. That's why they put the belt on her. But it's more than that. Who's she supposed to learn from? It wasn't anybody.
Yeah, at least Goldberg had Hogan and Hall, Nash.
Once again, all superstars. You know what I mean? So
that had let's see, she had a couple wrestlers, but they kept her away from them. Yeah. You think Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Serena Deeb, and Ruby Soho was going to say, "Let me work with you." It was, oh. You good? You're the champion. I'm over here. I'm gonna wrestle this person. You go squash this person. Because
Triple H can relate to it. Like I said, he left guaranteed money in WCW so he can wrestle 300 days a year. Eric Bischoff looked at him like, "So you're gonna leave here to work 300 days a year?" He's like, "I gotta get."
But it paid off in the end. But I'm telling you this. I'm gonna say I think this Mania season is gonna be the nail in the coffin for. Having a show on Saturday with this many hot PLEs, I would be interested because Stand and Deliver. What's the next one? Deadline. Is that on Saturday or Sunday, Brian?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Snap, I don't
thought
know.
it was a Saturday.
Because if they keep running this and their number keep dropping, I'm pretty sure the network going to say, yeah, we losing money. You're not bringing us no money. We're going to terminate this contract.
Yeah. I don't deny that. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, excellent show, brothers. We've done it again. Saturday?
Yeah. Next Saturday at Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I just want the pizza.
Well,
Frank Pepe's.
Sounds delicious. You know, I'm a pizza guy. With that being said, follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at Wrestling Realm. Brothers, we did it again. Excellent conversation. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate everybody in the chat that joined us in the conversation. Stay tuned to the social media accounts because we will be posting highlights from this show of some of the various points that we touched on this evening. And we want you to continue to comment, continue to engage in a conversation with us as we continue to enjoy this road, man. Like I said, like Bronny said, the road to WrestleMania is right there in front of us, but we will be definitely sitting there in the front seat, keys ready to drive and get involved. We thank you for everybody else that's been a part of the show. Shout out to CM Punk, shout out to Randy Orton, shout out to R-truth. Man, WWE is firing all cylinders right now. AEW, let's see what you got. We will join you. Join us next week at the same time. Every Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Same bet time, same bet place, same bet channel. YouTube.com/Wrestling Realm. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Same YouTube.com/Wrestling Realm. Championship Culture. YouTube.com/Wrestling Realm. Championship Culture playlists. All that in the bag of chips. We will see you guys next week. We are out of here. Peace.
Everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story. Boom.
Water.